There we go. Hello. Take a minute, let people come in. I am not Christian. But if you're Christian and not vegan, you should watch Christspiracy. It's not a documentary debunking religion, but it's a very interesting documentary. Exactly, Jessica, you got it. So I'm asking, should you respect animals? And I would have a follow-up, which is, if you think we should respect animals, do you think you can respect them while using them without their consent? Is it really moral to use someone, their body, whatever comes off their body, whoever comes out of their body? Is it moral to use them without their consent? So, should you respect animals? Also, if you're already vegan for the animals, like you care about animals, you don't want to support their exploitation, you don't want to support their oppression, then maybe consider actively advocating for animals. Or whatever cause it is that you want to stand up for. But I'm here to advocate for the animals' rights. Yeah, I would say that there's argument that there's a lot of things you could justify in survival situations, as in self-defense or preservation. But when you're not in those states, is it moral to use someone for taste pleasure when you can get everything you need from other sources? Can you respect someone while demanding their life be taken from them so that you can lick their muscles? Oh. I don't know what that means. All plants have protein. As long as you eat your daily amount of calories, you'll get enough protein. But if you're worried about health, I've got 2 sources here. Challenge 22, you can talk to a dietitian for free. And then nutritionfacts.org, they have what's called the Dailey Dozen. It's a really easy checklist to make sure you get everything you need. Definitely check them out. Also watch these documentaries. Dominion is a documentary that just shows you what those labels mean, standard practices. And then Dairy Scary is only 10 minutes. These are both free on YouTube. This just shows you what has to happen in order to get dairy. Yeah, Challenge 22 is pretty easy and it's not like super invasive, which is nice. You talk through an email or like a Facebook group, depending on what you choose. And if you join the groups, you have access to these dietitians. You can ask them questions. I'm worried about protein. I'm worried about these vitamins. I'm worried about blah, 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 whatever. They can help you. They have 2,000 to 6,000 hours focused on how nutrition affects your health. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about those victims. I'm saying that since we know we can get everything from other sources without using animals, why are we then subjecting someone through the scariest system that we wouldn't even put our worst humans through? And just for sensory pleasure, these animals have done nothing. They're innocent. Animals are innocent. They're sentient beings who are having a subjective experience, and they have preferences. They avoid harm. So why are we forcing them into harm's way when we don't need to? I don't know what you mean by animals or drones. They are having a subjective experience, and they're making preferences. They are sentient. We're sentient. We also weigh out preferences. We're having experiences. We don't just respond to stimuli, we think about it. Earthling Ed is my Jesus. He was. He's just been kind of quiet for a while, but he was for a while definitely the Jesus of the movement, but he's gotten a little quiet, which is fine. I get it. It can get a little, you can feel burnt out when you've been doing it so long and you keep hearing the same arguments over and over again because you're always talking to somebody who hasn't really heard this before. No, we are not at the top of any food chain. We are oppressors. We're able to dominate, but that doesn't make us the top of the food chain. That just makes us oppressors. The food chain is actually in reference to the, what's it called? It's about the energy that moves through the chain. So you've got plants, herbivores, animals that eat herbivores and plants. You've got the carnivores that eat all the animals. And the power or the energy transfer is only 10%. So of the 100% of energy captured by those plants, the animal that eats the plant only got 10% of that. And then the animal that eats the other animal only gets a tiny fraction, gets a tenth of the tenth from the grass. First, let's focus on humans using animals when they don't need to. So we eat plants because they're not sentient. I think that we can provide enough nutrients for our companions in vegan form. I think that we have all the ways to do so. They just are not being supported the way animal ag is. So it's not feasible for most people to always have companion food that's vegan, but it is absolutely doable. But if you care enough to think about your companion's diet, you should think about your own diet. It's very easy for humans to go vegan for sure. Yes, they are living, but they're not sentient. Plants. I don't drink almond milk. I like oat milk, actually. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine that plants are intelligent, but they're not sentient, which is what I'm talking about. So they just respond to stimuli, and they evolve that way. Whatever survives keeps going. Veganism is genuinely wrong. Okay, how? You have to say more than that. Wrong about what? Is it wrong to say it's immoral to use someone without their consent? Is that what's wrong? Yeah, exactly. Animals either don't have the capacity or they don't have the time. They don't have the same things that we have. We have time and space to think about and weigh out what's right and wrong. When we take animals from fight or flight, we see that they do gain or at least show compassion and morals sometimes. They don't always react in violence. See, how is that respecting someone when you're like, I recognize that you're having a subjective experience, but you're still a thing? What? Okay, so the day plants have sentience, we'll cross that bridge and figure it out. But right now, they're not. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. Oh, okay. I see a couple of you requested. All right. Well, you have to be over 18. I forgot to put the 18 plus on here, but yeah, I would prefer to talk to adults. It's also just TikTok rules. Hey,
Hey,
alive, are you over 18?
I'm
Oh, you're
25.
muted. Okay, perfect. Should you
So,
respect animals?
sorry, I just try to mute respectfully when the host is talking. I apologize. Yeah. So,
Fine.
do you believe in subjective morality?
Yes.
Okay, so your morals are the same as your morals. Like you don't like the taste of ice cream, right?
Not that's not why I don't eat ice cream.
What I'm asking you is, are your morals the same as your tastes? You're like, oh, I don't like ice cream, and I don't like when X and Y happens morally. Is that like those are the same things
Oh,
if you believe in
are you trying to ask me if it's a preference? I'm going to assume you said yes. If you mute too fast, I can't hear you. But
Okay,
um,
sorry.
no, it's fine. It's not, I guess it is a preference. I have a preference for my own autonomy. I have a preference to not be exploited and oppressed because I'm having a subjective experience and I care about what happens to me. I recognize that in other humans, they also are having a subjective experience and care about what happens to them. So all I care about is their sentience. I don't care how intelligent they are. I don't care what they provide for society. I don't care if they can reciprocate any kind of morality or something. If they're sentient and alive and they're not harming anyone, why should I exploit and oppress them?
What I'm not understanding is you're telling me your morals are just preferences, the same way your taste is just a preference, right?
Okay, so are you going to tell me that if I had a dog here and I wanted to kick them for exercise and entertainment, that you would think, in your moral perspective, that's right?
Oh, we're not talking about my moral perspective because I don't believe
Oh,
in
we
subject.
are.
I will talk about it. Yeah, I will. No, I just want to
Okay,
make a
then
point
I
first.
only want to talk about you. If you don't want to talk about you, I'll move on.
Okay, if you're going to do that, yeah. So my opinion is, I do care about the well-being of animals, and if you're going to unalive animals, um, and if you're going to stop the future existence of animals, how is that caring about the well-being? Now I'll explain what I mean by that. Are you against factory farms?
Calm down. We're all here just to talk, okay? I'm here talking about animal rights, the fact that they're sentient and have inherent rights to life. Of course, I'm against factory farming. I'm against any farming.
Okay, so if you're against factory farming and you want to end factory farms and you're ending the
All
existence
farming. All
and you're
farming.
then you're ending the existence of future animals that would have existed in those farms. They will never
Yeah.
come into existence. If you look at
Yep.
it from the perspective of an
It's a
individual
good
cow.
thing.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
if you look at it from the perspective of an individual cow, you have an option. Either take this individual cow, create it, have it come into life, let it
Don't
live a
create it.
relatively good life. One second, let it
Don't
live a
create
relatively
it.
good life. One second, let me just. You asked my opinion, my worldview. You said you don't want to talk about yours. I'll talk about mine. If you have a cow that's going to live a relatively good life and then get unalived painlessly at the end of its life, I would say that is preferable to it not existing at all. Is that not
Okay, so
perfectly
how
reasonable?
about we've got factory farming? I could unalive my dog, factory farming style. I could unalive my dog humanely. I could not unalive my dog. Which one of those is better for the dog?
Obviously not to unalive it at all. The difference with animals is this: these animals are not going to exist unless we create them for food. That is just the reality of the
All right,
situation.
so you're
We,
standing on the precipice of life, and whatever deity you believe in is talking to you before you head down and is like, hey, you get to experience life, but you're going to meet a knife at the end. Would you want to go down there and do that? Like, you're going to have a
wait,
painful
wait, wait, wait,
unaliving.
wait a second, wait a second. I said painless unaliving, first of all.
Okay,
Now,
you're going to be
we all,
enslaved. You're not going to have freedoms to do what you want to do. There's going to be someone that violates your autonomy. Do you want to go down there?
yes or no, will I live a happy life?
No. You'll end
Okay,
early
well,
as a
here's,
child.
Well, here's what I say.
Do you
I
know
say,
how young cows
I
are
heard you.
when they're
Listen,
unalived?
listen. You're
No, no,
asking
no,
me,
no,
am I?
no. No, no, no. Do you understand? I just don't. You're really excited to support animal abuse. I need you to understand what you're defending, okay? You're defending taking someone's head off for taste pleasure. That's what we're talking about. And I'm saying you don't need to do that. You can eat other things and let that individual live. Every time that you consume or use animals, you're demanding another individual be put through that system. Your demand. That's what we're talking about. I don't care about your philosophy. I'm talking about why do you think it's okay to put a knife across a cow, a cow, chicken, or pig, but not a dog?
Think it's okay to use a knife. I think what I'm trying to tell you, ask me, how do you support animal abuse? I'm explaining to you that obviously it's not okay to
You're
abuse
not
animals.
answering my
No,
question.
I am answering you right now.
Why is it
So
okay to do it
I believe,
to the
let me explain to
cow,
you.
the pig, and the chicken, not the dog?
So it is wrong to harm them. We should make it illegal to treat them badly. But
What do you
if the
think
owner,
this is? What do you
just let
think
me
this
talk. You're
is?
not letting me answer. I'm trying to give you a
What do
genuine
you think
response.
this is? Like, I don't think you're actually listening to what I'm saying, though. Do you
You're asking me,
understand that the cows get their heads removed?
and I'm disagreeing with that.
But you demand it with your dollar. When you go into the store and you pick up that package, you're saying, I like how this was made. I like the price. Make more. That's demand.
I don't support farms that do that. I never eat from cruise. I
Doesn't
only
matter
eat,
what
you're
farm you
not listening
support.
to me.
This
This is
is
not
why,
right.
hush, I know you feel upset. Look, it's my live. I'm going to interrupt you. And if you don't like it, you can leave. I get it. It's hard.
Fine, but what's the
But you're
point?
defending animal abuse. And I just don't really care to give animal abusers enough room. Okay? So you don't need to use animals. That's what we've gotten so far. You said you don't want to demand it. You say you go to other farms. How else do you think they do it? They have to get the blood out of the body. They usually will bolt
I
them.
will not. I will not eat from a farm unless I know it's cruelty free. Now, what that means is,
What does that mean? Do you
listen,
eat
I would
flesh?
try. I'm
Do you
trying to
eat
tell you.
flesh, yes or
I'm trying
no?
to tell
Do
you.
you eat
And only
flesh,
if I
yes or
can
no?
verify.
Do
Only if I
you
can
eat
verify.
flesh or so you do? Yes is the answer. Yes is the answer. Yes, you eat flesh. Guess how they get that flesh?
Only
I
if I
don't
can
care if
verify.
you hug them till they pass away.
You're
It's
scared because you know
wrong
you're
to
wrong.
take
And that's okay.
it's oh, goodness. You have a great day. You just don't want to listen. I don't care if you hug them till they unalive. Taking someone's life when they wanted to live is immoral. And you're just talking so fast to try to prove me wrong. Like, think about what you're defending. You're defending animal abuse. Oh, hi, oh, Lori, I'm sorry. I thought I brought you up. I saw you drop, but I didn't see you request again.
Oh, that's okay. I was just trying to get my thing to mute for you, but it wouldn't mute on
Oh
either
no,
try.
is it working?
No.
Okay, let me go into my settings real quick. There we go. Do that and then do that. There you are.
Okay, great.
Confirmed. Okay. It should be good now.
Or should I drop
Yeah,
it?
maybe.
Because I can't, yeah, it's not working. Okay, I'll drop and come right back.
Yeah, I'll bring it right back up.
Okay.
Oh, maybe. Oh, there you go. Okay. I was like, is it not letting you drop? Oh, it's not a debate, to be clear. We're not debating. I'm here to have a conversation about should you respect animals and can you respect animals while using them without their consent? Awesome. Let's see if it works. Yay! I hate that it makes. I hate that we have to go through. I'm so sorry that it does that to you.
No, that's okay. That's okay, no problem.
All right. Do you want to bring up guests?
Sure. If you want me to.
Just throw. Sure, yeah. Unless you want to talk for a minute. I don't know. You just got up here, and I'm like just throwing you right into it.
Oh no, that's okay. I'll bring him up. There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Derry.
how old are you?
Hello.
How old are you for TikTok purposes?
Me, I just got 18.
Okay. What year were you
So,
born? What year were you born?
me?
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm asking
All right.
you.
Yeah. When they can't answer, it means he doesn't know. You need to just
Right.
have your numbers ready, guys.
Exactly. Write them down.
Write it down. Oh, Freesia's in the chat. Hey, Freesia.
Yay. Come up. Come up, Freesia.
Hey,
Good morning.
hey, Wyoming.
What's up?
Are you over 18?
I am.
Okay. Should you respect animals?
Yes, you should.
Can we respect animals while using them without their consent?
Yes, we can.
How so?
Well, for instance, number one, do you drive a vehicle?
Yes.
Are you using a phone or are you using a laptop?
Using my phone.
Okay. And you've got plastic piercings in your ears, correct?
Metal, but piercings, yes.
Okay, so metal. Right? So then you yourself can advocate for the safe using of animals against their will, and you do. Your phone is not vegan safe, your car's not vegan safe, the public transportation is not vegan safe. Nothing about
You
your
don't-
life is vegan
Do
safe.
you know what veganism is?
Explain it to me.
It is a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient beings as far as practicable and possible, which means doing to the best of your ability. Does that make sense?
Right. So then
Okay. We don't need to use animals. So if you can avoid it, you should do so.
Okay, so the fact that your phone contains animal byproducts, so does your car.
What does
Right.
it contain? What does it contain?
Animal fat.
Can you prove that
Animal
my
oils.
phone? Can you prove that my phone has it?
Yes, because according
Okay.
to simple Google, there isn't
Simple
a vegan
Google. Just
There
Google,
isn't-
Dr. Google.
No, listen to me, right? So simple Google.
I'm listening to you, sir.
WebMD, there's thousands.
WebMD says that my phone has
There
animal
is
fats
not-
in it.
Yep. Along with your own.
WebMD. I don't think you've ever been to that website. I don't think you know what they talk about on WebMD.
Right, I do. But anyway, the point is,
Okay.
is you yourself are a hypocrite and you're saying we should not use vehicles or we shouldn't use animals, but yet every part of your life existence.
Do you know?
Amazon, if
do you
you shop
know?
on Amazon, you're
Wyoming.
I know.
Hush, honey. Shh. I know. I'm really worked up right now.
I'm not worked up. I'm just on your
Yes, you are. You're so worked up. Oh my god.
Nope.
Can you eliminate all racism in the world?
Yeah, don't talk about it.
You can. One person can eliminate all racism.
Don't talk about it. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Wow, you're delusional. I love that he thinks he can eliminate all racism. That's very powerful.
Well, he thinks he can eliminate it by not talking about it. Like what?
Yeah, that doesn't eliminate it. That just ignores it.
Yeah,
It's easy for a
it just
white
lets it-
person to do.
Exactly. That just lets it grow.
Yeah,
We got to talk about social change if we want to create social change.
Exactly.
precisely. Yeah, I don't care to talk to people that are dishonest that just really want to like
wanna prove you
mansplain
wrong.
or ego-splain. I just don't care for that.
Yeah, they just try so hard to prove us wrong, and they don't have a. They can't.
Yeah.
I mean, even if there was, so his whole point was that, you're using potentially some items that have animal derivatives or something like that, which isn't true. But
No.
if we're talking about, eliminating exploitation of animals, that he's talking about the smallest possible thing. He's talking about byproducts. And byproducts are because of the industry. So go after
Yep.
the industry, stop supporting it.
Yep, exactly.
Do I have an echo or?
Oh no, am I echoing?
No, I think it's just me on my end, but it's fine. It's not a big
Okay.
deal.
Yeah, I don't hear you, Freesia.
Okay, I'm
Yeah, I
glad.
don't hear an echo.
As long as you guys don't hear it, it's good.
If you need to, you can step down and we can bring you back up. TikTok seems to have errors this morning, so it could be that.
Yeah, it's been weird. I'll stay for a bit and I'll see if it continues.
Okay, cool. Something else he was doing. Oh, yeah, he's appealing to the nirvana fallacy. Like, oh, there's all these issues in the world. And like you said, you can't avoid everything. And it's like, so we shouldn't try at all?
Yeah.
Shouldn't make any change, like you said?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, and then, so he appealed to, so not only the nirvana, but the hypocrisy. So he's trying to say, because I'm hypocritical, he doesn't have to make good choices. That was another error he made. But yes, please, bring him up.
Okay. Hi, Brand Plates.
What's
Are
up?
you 18 or
I'm
over?
28.
Okay.
I
Okay.
know for a fact your gauges smell like blue cheese. Definitely. I know that for a
Well,
fact.
that's, you talking about your butthole? Yeah, I actually wash my piercings every day. Every day. Too funny. I'm back. Someone didn't like the way I was talking to them. I hurt their fifis. It's probably when I was like, oh, I'm so worked up. It was probably that moment. Oh no, not my fan. Okay. Fan likes to randomly go off. Shoot. Sure. Okay. No, I can talk over them. That's okay. It's my life. I don't have to do anything. It's the shaming or something, maybe. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Okay. I mean, you're the one coming in here to talk to me. So, Nacho Taco, if you're so offended, then leave. It's okay. I'm not holding you hostage here. Hey, Lori, welcome back.
Oh, I'm glad you're able to come back up. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I don't think you're doing anything wrong.
I was replaying it just to watch it, and I still am like, is it when I was like going, oh, you're so worked up? It might have been maybe that moment. That guy was just like, I'm not worked up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Is Freesia still in the queue or no?
I mean, if she wants to come up, she's welcome to. But
Yeah, if she comes up,
I just don't
I'll
want her
bring
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do love having her up here. She's great.
Yeah, she is good.
Oh, I don't want that either. Okay. Freesia, welcome back.
Hey, I'm glad you got it back.
Hey.
Yeah,
No,
me
that
too.
was lame. I can't believe
I,
it.
I was pretty shocked. I was like, they thought I was too offensive. I feel like I could go, like, I've gone worse in my previous lives.
Yeah.
Don't let them talk. And I'm like, just giving it my all. Like, I'm going to rip you a new one. And I didn't even get banned on those ones.
Right. I think it's this TikTok is crazy.
Yeah,
think?
I think somebody was up here, felt a little sensitive,
Sure.
cried to TikTok mommy daddy, and yeah. And when they reviewed it, they're like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Well, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's bring them
try
up.
it again.
Let's try it again.
See if these people can keep their emotions intact.
Yeah. Hey, loving spirit.
Hello, thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you over 18?
I'm 29. Thank you for asking.
Beautiful. Should you respect animals?
I absolutely agree, 100%. All life is precious.
Do you use animals? Like, do you consume eggs, milk, animal flesh?
Unfortunately, I do. It's not from the lack of trying to lead a vegan lifestyle. However, even my understanding of life is also understanding that even life on plants are also precious too. And I try to ask even like other ways, like, is there some way that I could consume food that isn't like wasn't considered living? And can I
Oh,
still be
you know, you're
okay?
gonna need to eat something living. But plants are not sentient. They don't have a brain or a central nervous system. They don't experience pain, and they don't have a subjective experience. Animals absolutely have the capacity to feel suffering. They have their own subjective experience. Since we know that animals have those capacities and that we can get everything we need from other sources, then what morally justifies using animals when we can live off of non-sentient beings?
I mostly because I came across the recent studies of that plants may actually be a little bit more sentient than we even realize because they
So
have
I
a
want to
certain
get
way
this
to
straight.
communicate with each
You
other.
want to hold plant sentience over animal sentience. Am I getting that
Well,
correct?
well, without plants, then there would actually be no life in general,
Right.
would there not
So
be?
right now, we dedicate 83% of our agricultural land to raising animals for their flesh, their secretions, their food, and their pastures. 83. Guess how many calories they provide globally?
No, I agree that there is always
No, no,
going to
tell me.
be. I don't
Tell me
know the statistics.
18. 18. They provide us less than 20% of our global calories, yet we're dedicating 83% of our agricultural land, about 20% of our fresh water. If we eliminated animal ag, we would actually grow fewer plants. So if you care about plant sentience, you would still go vegan.
The I'm more of the lenient on I'm trying not to worry what I eat kind of side.
So you do worry about what you eat, but you don't worry about what you eat. So now you're contradicting yourself because you said
I'm
that you
saying that I
care.
can't get away
You
because you
think
also.
you said you think critically about your food and whether or not you should be causing this harm. And I'm telling you that you can just eat plants. If you go to a grocery store or a farmer's market, you can easily choose plants over the animal products. And if you're worried about your nutrition, because not everyone is taught how to eat, you know, to get everything they need, if you eat enough calories, you'll get all your needed protein. But if you're worried about like your vitamins and whatnot, Challenge 22, you can actually talk to a dietitian. It's a 22-day challenge that you sign up for. It's just through email,
If I may.
but they set you up in a group where you can talk to a plant-based dietitian and be like, hey, I'm concerned about getting all my nutrition. And they help you find the vegan sources within your area that fit your budget. And they even help you meal plan. If that's too much for you, though, maybe you don't want to reach out to people, you can go to nutritionfacts.org. They have what's called the Vegan Daily Dozen. And it's just a checklist, just an easy checklist of everything you need in a day to get your needed nutrition. Really easy.
If I may, only state my perspective on this fully, is that The one thing that you and I had that agreement on is that we cannot consume anything that isn't considered.
Again, you're gonna go
I'm
back
not.
to plant
Hold on.
sentience.
I'm not.
No,
I'm
no, no,
not.
no, 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 no,
Please,
no, no, no.
please.
You don't understand what you're saying. You're telling me that you care when you cross a lawn of grass, you feel for every blade of grass that you step on. You're telling me every time that someone is eating or kicking a tree or picking flowers that they're causing suffering, much like removing the head of an animal. Because I sorely disagree with you. I believe removing the head of a sentient being is way worse, morally wrong. Whereas removing the flower from a plant is moral neutral. It's not right or wrong because they're not suffering. And many plants actually benefit from us taking from them. We harvest fruits, they produce more. A lot of the grains we harvest, we don't harvest until the plant naturally passes. We don't do that for animals. We unalive them at a fraction of their lifespan. Loving, you can come back. So what justifies using animals? Do you shop at a grocery store?
You're misunderstanding my intentions here.
Do you shop at a grocery store?
Yes, but may I?
So
may I at least
you
get my
have
thoughts across, please?
options. You have options. Do you want to stop exploiting animals, or do you like benefiting from their exploitation and oppression?
I'm saying that this is not the answer. This is not the answer. Like, I agree 100% of what you're
You don't
trying
think
to say.
abolition of slavery is
May
the
I
answer?
May I
No.
answer your questions without you asking another question?
Does
the
anybody
next?
else want to speak to him? Because I'm actually done with them.
I would like to
Ellen,
answer your
I have a
question.
question.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
So, oh, Lori, if you want to go
No,
ahead,
no,
go
no.
ahead.
Go ahead, Freesia. I was just asking him to hold on.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So, Loving, I'm very confused on where you stand because it seems like you're talking about plant sentience
I would
and
like to
animal.
explain.
Okay.
It's more so I'm in faith with God and Jesus, and like I am taught to value all life. All life is precious. Yes, I agree. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. Like, I agree that something needs to change of how we eat, how we treat others, and how we treat like our own, like our own fellow living beings around us, of course. But there needs to be an understanding that like it's not the fight isn't with me. The fight isn't
Hold
with
on,
you.
hold on. But
I'm trying to
hold on.
figure it out together.
You're no, no, no. But we're putting the responsibility on you because you're the one who's participating in this larger system. You're participating in this system of exploitation and oppression. Every time you purchase, every time you support this industry.
But the industry does not help support us, support any other lifestyle to help counteract this. We have to go through
Hold on. No, no, no. You're again, you are saying the industry needs to do something. The only way the industry will stop is if we stop supporting it. If we stop saying, hey, industry, keep doing this. This is what we want. And you do that by not purchasing these items, by not supporting it, by deciding that you're going to reject the entire idea of exploiting someone else.
However, the best option
Did you
is
hear
for
what
us
I,
to
no, no,
go
no.
out.
I need to know that you heard what I said.
I heard, and I understand. I understand.
Okay, so then
And
you
the best
understand.
option-
Okay, so then you understand that the responsibility is on you as the consumer to no longer consume.
If I had to go starving, then
I'm not saying you go. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that by any means whatsoever. What I'm saying is that you no longer participate in the exploitation of other sentient beings. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you starve yourself. There are plenty of plant-based options, and if you want ones that do not actually unalive the plant, there are plenty out there.
I just want to make sure my morals are in the right place here.
What are your morals?
My morals are is just if I try growing my own plants here in my own apartment
I'm not
complex,
saying you
I'm
need.
gonna
I'm not
get.
saying you need to grow your own plants. That's not what I'm saying at all. You can still go to the grocery store and you can still purchase plant-based options. You don't need to grow them all yourself.
Okay, then the there's a whole lot of things that we depend on that
No, again, I want to hear
require
you said your morals. So what are your morals?
that this my morals is that I rather just love everything and accept everything for what I have and just be thankful for even having
That's called lip service. You're
Yeah.
just spreading lip service.
lip service. It's just who I am. I'm sorry if that's
You-
not
no, no, no,
exactly
You
you
what
need to
would
live
accept.
the action. You need to
You need
live
to
the
actually,
action.
yeah, it's not about, you can't just say, I want to love everyone and all of that. You need to actually put it into action by respecting them and respecting their right to live. Do you respect other beings' right to live? Do you respect a dog's right to live?
Of course, but I have no judgment or I have no
Do you,
choice.
no, no, no. Do you respect a cow's right to live?
Of course. I
Okay,
get
so
that.
do you consume cow flesh?
Of course I do.
Then how do you respect their right to live if you consume their dead bodies? If you're asking for them to be unalived for you, how is that respect?
Because
How
I
is that in line
pray,
with your morals?
because I pray after every meal and I say thank
Do you
you
think,
for
does
the
that bring the cow back
sacrifice.
to life?
No, it
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't. Does the cow care that you prayed that they were exploited, that you prayed and were like, oh, thank you for being exploited your entire life so I can consume your body when I don't need to?
I'm saying thank you
You're making a thank you to who?
to just being there and to actually give me the life that I could keep carrying on for that life that was given
Why
for
don't
me.
you want to make the choice to not exploit? Why
Because
is
I'm
that
not
not a life you
exactly,
want to do?
who am I to judge others for their choices?
All right, I'm done.
Really, really.
Shouldn't judge Jeffrey Dahmer, I guess. I was ready to move on.
Yeah,
He
that's
clearly
Not
was
totally.
not absorbing anything. He just kept moving the goalpost. At one point it was religion, and then you asked about his morality. He didn't even go back to religion. So I'm like, are any of these excuses you're bringing up genuinely your reasons, or are you on Dr. Google?
He can eat plants and pray over them every time he eats them too. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
There
Like
you
if
go.
Pray on
yeah,
your plants. that you
exactly. Pray over the plants.
can- Yeah.
Yeah, pray for the plants. Exactly. Like he was concerned about unaliving plants. Anyway,
It's always confusing. Hey, Norlia.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, are you over 18?
I am 24.
Right on. Should you respect animals?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you use animals? Do you consume them, wear them, watch them for entertainment?
I don't wear them. If you count watching my cat play around the house, I do have a pet cat and a pet snake. So that I do for entertainment. And I hate having a pet snake. It was something I got when I was 12 and he lived so long and he is an obligate carnivore and it's very sad every time. And I also do consume animal products as little as I can, but because I am not personally financially independent right now, the food that is purchased for me is what is available, and I don't have the sort of financial resources to go beyond that. So I do eat to the extent that I can, what I can, but I have unfortunately had to consume, and so I worked at a vegan restaurant for about like 3-ish years. And so I got to learn a lot about nutrition from that side of things. I'm also in my last semester of nursing school and I've taken nutrition classes. So apart from like omega-3s, you can get pretty much everything from a plant-based diet. If you
Oh, you can
recognize
get
that.
omega-3s. Ground flaxseed is a great source.
Oh, those have omega-3s?
Yeah, I do a tablespoon with my oatmeal every day.
Oh, I hate oatmeal.
Oh, you don't have to eat oatmeal. That's just what my breakfast of choice. You can mix it into smoothies or, ground flaxseed is pretty flavorless, but like you can mix it into almost anything. It does get a little gelatinous, so it might make whatever you put it into thicker, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we actually have a smoothie called the berry flax, which is strawberry, banana, and flax seeds. But I never knew that it had omega-3s. So that's another
Yeah.
thing that I've learned. Thank you for that. I
You're
did
yeah,
work.
there is. Oh, I just
Oh,
wanted to add
No,
they just
please.
have to be ground up. They just have to be ground up because
right,
otherwise,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. I just wanted to add that.
So And I thought we were just adding it for fiber, which is also great. Um, I had a few things that I was concerned about, and I was wondering if maybe you know more about this. I'd assume you do. So the first one is financial assistance for people who live in food deserts and don't really have that access to the fresh produce that we would like for people to be able to eat more of. Do you know of any like financial resources or outreach programs that are attempting to increase the access to those fresh fruits, vegetables, grains?
There are, yes. I don't know them off the top of my head. That is actually a great point. I should maybe, I just have such limited space, but I should find a space to maybe put them. But they're all over the place for different like food deserts or in colder regions. There are groups focused on trying to bring food or healthy, nutritious food to areas that don't have access to everything. Because I agree, those areas that where people couldn't necessarily eat like a plant-based diet, I feel like that's an injustice for them to not have that option, as we're finding that plant-based is very healthy and that we thrive, and a lot of humans actually live longer, higher quality lives the more plants they eat. So I agree. We should absolutely be focused on getting equal nutrition to everybody. Doesn't matter where you live. You should have access to healthy food.
And I think also sort of to that point and along that vein, my second question was you brought up a point that I thought was really striking, which was talking about how 83% of land is used
Ag
for
land.
like pasture, agricultural land, right? Is used for
Yes.
pastures and growing like food for animals. How much of that could sustainably and perpetually be converted to growing some of those like staple beans, for example, or dark leafy greens, these like sort of filling and nutrient rich foods that we would need
Yeah.
to convert the entire global population to a entirely plant-based diet?
I would point you to, I'll tell you, but the study that I'm pulling it from is called Reducing Food's Environmental Impacts Through Producers and Consumers. They went over thousands of farms in hundreds of countries. And they found that it was we could, if we eliminate animal ag, we could feed 10 billion people on a quarter of our current agricultural land, feeding them a highly nutritious diet, variety of foods, all their needed vitamins, proteins, nutrition, etc.
And would you say that you think, because there's also the question of our agricultural land also having a very massive ecological impact, right? We have
Yeah.
displaced countless ecosystems and completely, disrupted them. We are causing a mass extinction anthropogenically, right?
Yeah.
And our agriculture, which has led to the rise of the human civilization, has also caused that awful thing to happen to so many
Oh
of
yeah.
this planet's creatures. What are your thoughts on ways that we can sort of circumnavigate that? Is it more individual gardens that have like cucumbers and tomatoes, like a rich biodiversity in individual gardens?
I mean, honestly, if we just eliminated animal ag, we would. I mean, maybe repeat your question. Maybe I didn't. I understood. I was like,
Well,
to
you,
me,
you said a quarter. You said a quarter of the agricultural land that we have now. That's still like hundreds of thousands of acres, right? Even just in
oh yeah.
the U.S.
But I mean, like the environmental impact compared to using with like animal ag, when you raise their food, like we're raising all these monocrops for their grains, we're putting all the fertilizers and all that. Like I think animal ag accounts for 75% of the greenhouse gas emissions. So if we eliminated animal ag, that would reduce animal ag emissions greatly. Is that what
yeah.
you're kind of going at?
Yeah, I guess
there's
it was
runoff and all
more
those
so
things.
the question of like I know, and again, my agricultural knowledge is very limited, so feel free to stop and educate me. But I know that different plants require different nutrients to grow, so there's like a process of crop rotation, like you said, using fertilizers. So is that something that could be applied at scale to be able to feed a global population?
Yeah.
And what would
we
that
have
sort of look
veganic
like?
farming. We have veganic farming, and they use what's called green manure, and they just focus on what kind of plants they put in this compost, and you get a specific type of green manure. I just make regular compost, but that's still a type of green manure. You can also do cover crops, like plants that pull nitrogen from the atmosphere and put it back into the earth, and then you can chop up those plants and put them on top of the soil and let them break down. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I'm not necessarily a farmer, but there are vegan farmers on TikTok, you can find them, and they can break it down for you even further, like the specifics on what we can do. There's Ben the Vegan Farmer and Ozark. They're both great vegan farmers, and they talk about how we can scale up vegan farming. It's just that right now we unalive so many animals, so their byproducts, like their waste, their blood, their bones, we have so much of it that we put it to use in other things. Otherwise, we would have a massive garbage heap. So it's better that we try to use them, but we don't need to. So if we stopped using animals, we would have alternatives.
And how do you feel? Because again, working in a vegan restaurant, I spoke to a lot of different people. Some people are vegan, but also support like insectivory, like using insects as protein supplementation. And there's like a bit of dubiousness between like, is that an animal? Is there sentience there? The studies on nociception are inconclusive. So
yeah, I would say it is a gray area that you could say is in the vegan movement. Veganism is a principled stance against using sentient beings for unneeded things. I would err on the side of caution with insects. I think using insects is wrong because to me they're most likely a sentient being, but because we don't know, I'm just going to err on the side of caution with them. We don't need to use them. We can get plenty of protein from, plants all have protein. If you get enough calories, you're going to get your needed protein. So protein's not the issue. I don't know why people need to eat some kind of being to get their protein. I understand in a survival situation, but I don't know why people are saying it's an alternative protein. We have everything we need right now.
Yeah, I think or at least again from the conversations that I've had with people in my work experience, a lot of the sort of insectivorous alternatives provide something more similar texturally and in terms of what its use cases are to like ground turkey, ground pork, in a way that they found helped them transition easier. So I was just curious on your perspective.
Yeah, if you're against exploitation of sentient beings, personally, I find it weird to be looking for loopholes on like what body can I exploit. I would just focus on beans because I know for sure those are not sentient. And like I said, we know for a fact from science that you can get everything you need from plants. You don't need to turn to bugs. I think it's weirder to eat bugs. I don't understand why people just don't want to eat plants.
And I would say my final question before I let you get someone else in here to rip a new one, I think is the words you used, I remember someone said something earlier in this live about like, in my ideal moral world, I would only eat food that the plant doesn't have to die for. Like there's certain things where you have to kill the plant to eat it, like root vegetables, for example. You don't kill like the entire plant, but you have to kill like a part of it. And I was wondering, is there a diet that exists of only eating like the leaves and the fruit, that like things that do not impact the well-being of the plant at all?
Yes, there are people that do eat that way. I don't eat that way, so I don't really know how they get everything. I'm sure they do. It's just a matter of finding what nutrition is in a plant. But personally, I don't want to make my life hard. I just don't want to use other sentient beings. And plants, we have so many studies that show that they're not sentient. So I feel comfortable using plants for everything, no matter if they are killed or unalived or not.
Yeah, I think just because my stance on veganism and that sort of exploitation morally is not at the threshold is not sentience, it's like being living. So that in an ideal
you can
world,
find that. You can find that. I just I don't know how to I would point you maybe to Challenge 22. You can talk to those dietitians because they're going to be the most knowledgeable about how diet affects your health, and they might be able to help you find the foods that aren't unalived but are harvested after they pass.
There's quite a few actually. So if we think about most vegetables, it's the fruit part of the plant. Like when we're talking tomatoes, peppers, like eggplants, what are they called? Cucumbers, those sorts of things. And then when we're talking about pumpkin, squashes, all of those. Beans themselves too. That's another thing that you harvest from the plant. It doesn't actually take the life of the plant. And then there's like certain perennial vegetables, and like leafy greens, like kale. When you harvest kale, you don't have to take the whole plant. You just harvest the leaves from it, and it will continue to grow more leaves. And then of course there's fruits that drop down, seeds. There's lots of different seeds that you can eat that come from that don't have to unalive like the plant or anything like that. So there's actually quite a lot of options.
Yeah, I was just, I will probably check out Challenge 22 to learn more about that, because I also know in a lot of farming practices, there are things where they don't need to unalive the plant, but they do because it's easier for like scale. And that's something where I feel like maybe that's something I'll just have to grow at home, or, but I guess I was just very curious. I wanted to hear your perspectives, learn a little bit, and thank you for helping me learn.
Can I just say something for you, Nora? You might want to look into hydroponics if you live in a deserted area. They're doing, that's a really great way to get, your vegetables and fruits for hydroponics.
Is that the one that also includes like an aquaterrestrial system, like where you have fish involved, or?
No, it's just straight water. You can even make them yourself with PVC pipe. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's check that
you're
out.
thinking aquaponics. Hydroponics are just water where
Okay,
it runs
okay,
with
okay.
the water and the nutrients on the roots.
Right, and
Yeah.
you can get all the nutrients in a liquid form too to put in the water.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I'll let you get to some of the other people.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming up. Yeah.
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I do appreciate people being open-minded too. Hey, Tyler.
Hello.
Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 29.
Okay. Should you respect animals?
I mean, in some cases, yes. Some cases, no.
Should you respect animals that aren't attacking you?
Well, it depends if it's feeding my family or not.
Do you shop at a grocery store?
Some days, most of the time, I live on a farm, so most of the time I deal with it myself.
How far away is your grocery store?
45 minutes.
Okay. So you have options. What then morally justifies using animals if you can get everything you need from plants?
I have a garden. I have animals. I have everything I need. God gave them to me. I'm going to use them.
What morally justifies using animals and not just plants? I understand
Because
your God gave you permission, but you don't need to do it. So what morally justifies it?
steak is good. Bacon is good. Bacon grease is good for baking.
So it's
I can go on and on.
taste
Milk's
pleasure?
good for biscuits.
It's just taste pleasure?
Taste pleasure. Better proteins. I'm
Okay, calm down. I don't need you to yell at me about everything. I'm just asking you what it is you need from animals. I understand that they taste good, but does that morally justify taking someone's life? Humans supposedly taste like pig. Therefore, babies are bacon. So am I morally now justified in unaliving babies to eat baby bacon? Human babies.
And everything he mentioned is considered a C1. So I don't know if he knows what that is, but
Probably doesn't.
probably doesn't.
Actually, it's a 1A. It's a 1A. Are you talking about the bacon and all that?
Yeah. Oh, that's got
Yeah, those are 1A. Those are on par with cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably feeds him to his family. He hasn't figured out the mute button yet. It's right there.
Right there, Tyler.
So the question was, can
So
I
why are
morally?
we muting?
Whoa. Okay, now we've
One
forgotten the question. Yeah, the question was, am I morally justified to use babies to make bacon? All right, now you can unmute yourself. Answer the question.
So a couple different things here. So why are you comparing a child to bacon? Because how
Just
do you
answer
know
the
that
question,
it tastes?
man. Can you
Well, no,
answer the
you-
question?
Look,
Tyler, I'm here to have a conversation. Ha la 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 la. Okay. You. I'm sorry, Lori. I
He's not
stepped
willing
over
to
you.
listen.
Oh no,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. I got frustrated, so I just started to focus on bringing it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I won't touch that button anymore.
No. I was gonna try and like let him like calm down a little bit.
That's true.
You know,
I'll do like I did last time. If I can't handle it, I'll be quiet and let you guys take over if you like.
can I listen? Just listen in for a second.
Sure.
Skillo, are you 18? Are you over 18?
50.
Okay, right on. And then, should you respect animals?
In what respect?
Should you respect them in all respects?
Oh, 100%.
Like, should you respect them like you respect your neighbor? Okay.
Yeah, I was a farmer for 30 years of my life. So, yes.
All right, so can you respect someone while using them without their consent?
Oh, yes. That's a hard word. That is a hard word because it was an industry for me.
Right, but so right now you're not doing that. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, no, I'm city folk now.
Okay. Well, so I'm not here to like shame you for your past. I'm just talking about what you can do with your actions here forward. So, what right now to you justifies using animals instead of just using plants or other sources?
No, I'm sorry, I have to eat meat. I've been brought up to be.
Okay, so what is it you think you need from animal flesh that you can't get from like a plant-based diet?
I don't eat flesh.
Meat.
I eat meat.
Okay, meat is flesh.
There's way more protein.
If you eat your needed calories in a day, you'll get all your protein from plants. You don't need to use animals. All plants have protein. They have all the essential amino acids. You just need to mix some and you're going to be fine. If you're worried though, if you're concerned, you can reach out to Challenge 22. They're free dietitians. Yeah, it's free dietitians that you can talk to. But you have to, do the...
You're in America, right?
Oh, this is online. They go to any country. And if you're in Australia, it's even easier. Yeah.
Yeah, but
they'll help you.
We also have better beef.
It doesn't matter. There's still a sentient life that didn't need to be taken.
Yeah, well, I believe that. But I still remember cutting off chickens' heads as a kid.
Okay, and was that morally correct? Do you think that the chicken liked that?
I didn't like it.
Right. Because you could probably relate with that chicken suffering, right? You know what suffering is. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was still running around.
Yeah. I'm sure you felt sorry for them, right?
I'm a country boy. Yes, I did.
Right, but so if you learned that you could get everything that you needed from plants and you didn't have to take those chickens' lives, wouldn't that be the preferable choice?
Well, I don't really eat chicken anymore.
Okay, so yeah, you agree with me then that you would prefer the chickens to live their life and not have their heads removed?
Yeah, if I say so. Yeah, she got a point. Yeah, she got a point.
Yeah. I understand, go ahead.
But at the same time, I also, it's really hard. I grew up in a really good place.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
Like, if I take abalone out of the water, and then deshell it and cook the food, is that wrong?
Those guys I know are kind of in that gray area. I would say if you have to eat animals, that would probably be the preferable direction you go in. But if you have access to that grocery store, you don't need to do that either. You can err on the side of caution, let those individuals live. In addition, aren't they also cleaners of the water? So you're like removing filters from the water. The water's going to get more gross the more that you take those filters out.
I'm talking like 25 years ago, and you got a good point.
Okay, well I'm talking about today, right now. You don't need to use animals at all. You can completely thrive off of plants.
But I get skinnier.
No,
well,
you can get
protein from
plants. They all have protein. But if you're worried about like protein dense foods, there's beans, nuts, legumes. You could just mix beans and rice. You get all your amino acids in the proper amount. You're good. Tofu has all the amino acids in it. It's just about seasoning. All the animal flesh.
Baby sees stuff.
Wow. Not tofu, no. Where does tofu come from? Soy.
Beans. Beans.
Beans.
Yeah, soybeans. Soybeans are actually a great nutritional source. They have all the 9 essential amino acids. They're great. They're the highest in protein. They're fantastic. I understand some people have allergies to them, which is fine. You don't need to eat soy to be vegan. I don't know why he let you. When you step out of the app, we can't hear you. Are you coming back? Okay. Man, I feel like I'm just talking to brick walls today. Nobody wants to like actually absorb anything.
Right.
I felt like he had glimpses where he got it, and then like
Yeah.
that cognitive dissonance would like come flooding back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't know how to combat that. I was like, but you just agreed with me.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for people, you know. I think, I mean, obviously the goal is just to like plant as many seeds as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori. Robert, I feel like we spoke before.
No, I've been like in the chat a bit, but
Oh,
I've
okay.
never come up. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
You're over 18 though, right?
yes, ma'am.
Fantastic.
And
Should you respect animals?
yeah,
Okay. Do you use
and
animals?
I do.
Do you think that you can use someone without their consent and respect them at the same time?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Have you heard of the word
Yeah.
vegan?
Yeah. I was actually plant-based for a couple years.
Okay. Do
And
you know the difference between plant-based and vegan?
yeah, like plant-based is more, well, I mean, I have a difference. I don't know if it's the difference. Like plant-based is
Oh
more of
yeah,
like a
share your
health.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, plant-based is more of like a health decision, right? And vegan is like a ethical, like moral.
Right.
Is
We're
that fair?
morally yeah, it's a principled stance against exploitation of sentient beings. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
just to clear the air so you don't think I'm like coming up here to be dumb. You know, I followed you a couple days ago. I've just been waiting to ask questions. 'Cause I don't know
Absolutely.
any
Fire
vegans,
away.
you know? So, and I'm sorry, a lot of these are going to be like slam dunk answers for you that you've
It's okay.
heard, you know?
I
So,
I am absolutely okay with answering questions no matter how silly you think they are, as long as they're coming from an honest place. That's the only thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote them down. Dang it, it's in my, and I can't look at my notes app without leaving. So
Oh,
I'm
you
so
can
sorry.
leave the
I'm
app.
gonna,
That's okay. You can if you leave the app, I'll wait a minute. I just didn't know where that other guy went. He just left. So I
okay,
won't
cool.
kick you if you go look at him. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, I'll answer questions. I have no problem with that. I had a lot of questions when I first went vegan too.
All right. So my first question was, is this like a modern context thing, like as far as like the morality, or is it like hunter gatherers 10,000 years ago or whatever, like indigenous people, were they, is that considered the same type of immoral thing, or is it we have the ability to now to
Well,
not
vegan,
consume, you
yeah,
know?
vegans recognize necessity. Or at least I would hope that most people that are preaching veganism would recognize that some people live in areas where they're going to have to cross their principles to survive, and we wouldn't hold that against somebody in a survival situation. Same thing with self-defense. Like, if you need to defend yourself, defend yourself. Don't let someone, take harm or, take advantage or oppress you just so that you don't harm them. At least that's my opinion.
For
So
sure.
self-defense and preservation are understandable, but I would still call it immoral because you're still taking someone's life, and that if you were the victim, you would still find it wrong, right? Or
Oh, for
correct, I
sure.
should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so if like if you were hiking, like this is such a theoretical thing, right? And I'm sorry about that. But like if you were hiking and were attacked by an animal that you did
Mm-hmm.
end up killing in self-defense, would it be
Mm-hmm.
immoral to
I mean,
use like
go ahead.
to use the like the hide meat of
Oh,
that animal?
I mean, I guess there's nothing per se immoral to the bear at that point because they're dead. But
Hmm.
personally, I find it weird because if you were to defend yourself against a human and you accidentally unalive them, would you then also would it be moral for you to cut them open and use their skin and their meat?
Yeah, I would say that it kind of perpetuates the idea that, animals are here for us to use. Like we can take from them versus them being their own beings that, you know, we like in the same comparison to the humans, we wouldn't, take human whatever and do whatever with it, and that kind of applies to the bear as well, is it's still respecting their who they are and not taking anything from them, even though they aren't alive.
Yeah, for sure. Let me dip out, look at the other. Okay, so we have a lot of these breeds that we have spent like hundreds, thousands of years like breeding, What do we do with like, from what I understand, there's like a breed of like a lot of sheep, like you kind of have to like trim them, right?
Yeah, so the original ancestors of sheep would shed their wool, and we purposely bred them. So we made one individual mate with another individual that they wouldn't normally mate with, right? Because we wanted them to make a deformed baby. So we deformed them so much that they can't even lose their wool, so they rely on our care. That's actually what domestication means, is that we've taken basically we've bred out many of their natural instincts, and it's easier for us then to oppress and exploit them, but it makes them also dependent on us. So for sheep, for example, we keep breeding them into existence. If we stop breeding them into existence and just care for the ones that are here until they pass, the longest lived domesticated animal, I think, is the cow. And they can live up to maybe 40 years, but there would be a great drop off at age 20, not to mention probably before that as well. But so they can live to averagely about 20. About 20 years from now, if we stopped right now, stopped all procreation, there would be no more of these domesticated animals, and we wouldn't have to say, oh, because they're dependent on us, we have to use them. See what I mean?
Yeah.
We just need to stop demanding their procreation.
No, I get that. So my next one. So I have chickens, right? And this isn't coming from a place of defensiveness, but I'm just curious because I have these chickens and like they're gonna lay those eggs no matter what. Like we don't have a rooster. It's not like we're taking the
Right,
potential
the
life
eggs aren't
away. You know what I
fertilized.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, is you because from what I understand, like in veganism, eggs is off limits too, type of thing.
Well, so
Is
again, veganism isn't necessarily about things being off limit. It's about that we principally are horrified and don't want to support something, which is exploitation. And with the chicken, it's more like they've been bred to lay eggs every day or every other day, something to that accord, right? At least multiple times a week. Whereas their ancestor only laid like 13 eggs a year. So they're laying close to like 300 a year now. So when you go and
uh
purchase, yeah, when you go purchase chickens, you're demanding more of those individuals be bred into existence. And at the hatcheries, males don't lay eggs. And many of these egg laying chickens, the males don't really grow enough flesh to be used for their bodies. So a lot of male chicks are just ground up alive on day one in these hatcheries. So when you buy
hmm.
chickens, you're just buying the ladies. For every lady, there was a male chick ground up alive.
Dang. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
If you look at
Okay.
anybody who has chickens, like, where are the roosters? Evolution has made it so there's like one for every female, there's going to be a male. It's just
Hmm.
evolution that way. Go ahead, Lori.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, if you take a look at it, you can actually see them put them in a macerator. It's pretty sad, pretty bad.
Yeah, no, that we have the things we've done with like industrial farming is
Well, I
yeah.
mean, even small scale farming, right? Go to any small farm. If they raise their own chickens, right? They just keep producing them from eggs. Where are
Hmm.
all the males? They might have a few, but they're not going to have an equivalent amount of roosters to chickens. They're either going to sell the roosters, or they're like, for people will unalive them and eat them, or they just tie them off in bags, drown them, CO2 them. Sometimes they put them in little gas boxes, or just crush them because they're just not profitable. That's the bigger issue, is that we're seeing these sentient beings as resources. So then when
Hmm.
there's parts of them or individuals that are useless, we just discard them like trash. We don't respect that they are an individual because we're seeing them as products, you know? And when you see someone, when you objectify them, their suffering no longer matters. It's about, satisfying your benefits, which is immoral if there's a victim.
No, I'm getting that. Like it's
Yeah.
really like essentially we're creating life
Yeah.
that has like self-awareness and emotions just explicitly to then unalive it and consume it when we have other options available.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Um,
He
all
did
right,
say he
last
was
question.
vegan before, right? You said
He
you're
said he
vegan,
did say plant based.
plant-based?
Actually, he
Okay.
clarified
Yeah.
plant based, which is another sign that you are open minded for sure. Because most people come up and they say I was vegan before, and they don't even understand the difference. But yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead though.
yeah.
You
I don't
you
know
wanted to
if
add something?
this is the last thing, small one. Do y'all know the Esselsteins, like the Engine 2 guy and the
Yeah.
so I read his book and he was saying you could get everything aside from B13.
Oh,
Is that not
12.
true? Oh, 12, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. There are some natural sources, but they're just not as common. Not everyone has access to what's called duckweed. You can get tofu that's fortified. You can get milks that are fortified. You can get vegan meats that are fortified with B12 in it now. So you can find it. But as far as like natural out of the earth, because B12 is made by bacteria, it's not made by animals or plants. It's
Hmm.
just that inside animals, they have in their lining of their tummy, they have some of this bacteria. They also eat stuff out of the ground, the bacteria out of the ground, or they eat cobalt that the bacteria turns into B12.
Hmm.
So that's why you can't necessarily get it from plant sources, but you can just take a supplement. But like I said, you can get it from fortified foods. Nutritional yeast is really high in B12. That's something that you can just put on toast. It's kind of a
Oh
cheesy,
yeah.
flaky
Like
stuff.
Bragg's, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's other brands, but yeah, yeah. There's other
Okay.
sources. I would just go on, what I usually recommend people to do is either they go to Challenge 22 or Nutrition Facts, but the
Hmm.
easiest to look up is a ChatGPT or any AI search, and you can ask it to make meal plans for you that have B12 in it, and they can tell you where to find those sources.
Yeah, okay. Rock on. And
Otherwise,
you
like I said,
said
there's nothing wrong with the supplement, but
for sure. And you said that website, I know you've mentioned it before. You said it was what, 22?
oh, Challenge 22.
Oh gosh, it's right there. I'm sorry. Goodness. Okay.
Oh, my head was in the way. You're fine.
Oh, okay. Challenge 22. All right. I appreciate the time. Y'all take care.
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
I just
Hell
wanted
yeah.
to hold on. I just wanted to add
Please.
one more thing, Robert.
Yeah.
So yeah, so since you read about the Esselsteins and read their books, I would recommend nutritionfacts.org. It's right on the screen behind, yeah, and
Do you
that's
do you mind
yeah.
if I screenshot this? You can
Oh
like it.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, and so that is, oh God, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on his name. That Dr. Greger, Dr. Michael Greger. That's his site, and he's really amazing. He's also written quite a few books. He's written How Not to Die, which is a really great one, and there's a couple others that I can't remember at the moment. But he's really fantastic. I would definitely take a look at what he has if you're interested in the plant-based nutrition side of things.
Yeah, rock on. Sounds good. Yeah,
it
we
looks
all
like
take care.
Anna might be getting the book, but yeah, thank you. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
Not
book.
to die.
This
Rock
is the
on.
most recent one. We flip it around, see if I can. There we go. Now you can read it.
Oh, How Not to
Not
Age.
to
I
die.
didn't know you did.
Not to age.
Yeah,
It's his most recent one, so it's the same as How Not to Die. It's just updated. That's it. Same book.
Rock on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, I appreciate y'all's time, and yeah, you take care.
Yeah, thank you for coming up. Appreciate the open-minded questions. And if you're interested, I would suggest go watch Dominion. If you watch that, I would love to hear back from you. Or if you sign up for Challenge 22. Either one. I want to hear if anything's changed for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Robert.
All right.
Thank you for coming up.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right. You have a great day. I love it. That's great. That makes me feel a lot better.
he was so nice.
Yeah, he was very calm and at least having a conversation instead of yelling and going crazy.
Yeah.
The same guy that dropped his back. I don't know, the Australian man.
Did he have to? Was he coming back? Because I told. Oh yeah. Bring him up.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Skillo. I think.
Skillo, yeah. Okay.
I think he had to drop and come back.
Yeah.
I don't remember how our conversation ended, so I think it was on a fine note. Did we end on an argumentative note?
I don't think so. I think he just had a phone call or something.
Oh, okay. Skillo. Oh.
Oh, okay.
All right. Maybe he accidentally requested.
Maybe.
I've definitely done that where I didn't mean to, and then they bring me up. I'm like, oh my gosh, hi. I had no idea I requested.
That's happened to me before too.
Super awkward. You're like, I'm gonna step back down now. I'll see you.
Yeah. Whoops.
Slowly back away.
Didn't mean to be here.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Like that baby meme. The baby walking. Oh. That's exactly it. Oh gosh.
I mean, let's see where I felt like this. There you go.
Oh my gosh, socks in sandals. Oh my God. I always told my man, I will not stand next to you if you do that, because it's such an Oregonian thing over here. Like, Oregonians do that regularly.
Gay women do too.
Yeah, socks with sandals, no thank you. I get it, it's comfortable. It looks weird.
It looks weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if he ever did that, I was like, I'm going to walk like 3 feet behind you. Yeah.
Here we go. He's back.
Awesome.
Drawing. Hello. Good day,
Hey,
ladies.
welcome back. Welcome back.
How you going?
Okay. All right. Was it that you left? I think it was just like you left. You had a phone call or something, right?
Yeah, it wasn't connecting properly.
Gotcha. Okay, so
We're on
we were talking
opposite
about
sides of the world.
Right. You have access to a grocery store, right?
Yeah, in a way.
Well, I mean, how far away is it? Was it 45 minutes away? I remember someone saying 45 minutes.
400 meters or 400 meters the other way.
Do you drive to it?
Oh, not in a supercharged V8, no.
I didn't understand that. I'm sorry.
Do you have a supercharged V8?
Oh, okay. So you ride out on like a quad or something? I don't know what a V8 is. I don't know my like vehicles.
Well, you know,
Is that it's just the engine, right?
It's a car. It's a car.
Oh, okay. Well, so
car.
how long does it take you to transport yourself to the grocery store?
4 minutes or 5 minutes, either way.
Okay, so it's super close. Super close.
Yeah, super close.
Okay. So since you have access to the grocery store, it means you have options, right?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
What is it that you think you need from animals that you can't get from plant sources or other sources, just not animal based? What is it you think you need from animals?
Oh, it's really hard in Australia because We just tell everyone to go to the greengrocer and the butcher. Because
All
we
right.
have
So
Woolies,
what?
Woolies
No, no,
and
no.
Coles.
What? No, I think you're not hearing my question.
No, I'm hearing your question.
What is it from animals that you need? What is it? Why do you need to
Protein.
eat animals?
Protein.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we talked about this. All plants have protein.
Uh,
Yeah. If you
Yeah,
eat
no, you're right.
if you eat enough calories, you'll get all your needed protein.
well,
So then what? So
Well-
then what is it that's? Well, go ahead, Freesia, please.
No, I remember. The conversation ended with soy. Soy was brought up.
we'll have Asians right next door. They sell a lot of soy.
We were talking about like cooking soy and eating soy for protein.
Well, I live at... So, yeah, I think you're talking to the wrong person.
Oh, am I? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you can eat soy. What's wrong with eating soy?
I just can't. No, I have to eat meat.
So it's about taste pleasure?
No, it's about tradition.
So what about dog? Why don't you eat dog?
I don't have a dog.
Why don't you eat dog meat?
I don't have a dog.
Okay, so why can't you get dog meat at the store?
Wouldn't you say, why don't you eat cat? I have 6 cats.
Okay, why don't you eat cats?
Oh. Yeah, doesn't say.
It's not safe?
No, they're family.
Oh, okay. Right, so you wouldn't unalive family. You know that they're having a subjective experience. You wouldn't want them to suffer, right?
It's hard enough putting one down, let alone 6 of them.
Do you not think, do they have inherent rights to life? What's the name of your
100%.
cats? Okay, what are the names of your cats?
Okay, let's start with 1. Jasmine.
Aw, my cat's named Jasmine.
Oh,
I love
I
that
don't
name.
think so. Bijou.
Bijou?
Bijou.
Bijou?
Bijou.
Am I not saying it
It's
right? Bijou?
Oh, it's Freddie's favorite cat. Freddie from Queen.
Oh, okay.
What
Freddie
else
from-
we got? Delilah. I'm not gay.
Delilah.
Fuck off. Monica.
Delilah. Monica.
Rocky.
Aw.
Us is us of the fucking Ham family.
Right, they're part of the family.
Nyla.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, she's blind. She's white.
Oh, I'm sorry she's blind, but she sounds beautiful.
Oh, no. I didn't mean she's blind. She's white. Like white as.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very white fur.
Well,
Well,
so
so-
you don't know. No.
So,
And Specky.
like, Specky. So
You
why
don't
would
even know what...
Why would it be so terrible to take Specky's life?
I'd fight you for that. Every day.
Right.
I don't
they're-
know
they're an-
guns in my country.
Does Specky have inherent rights to life?
Under my realm, 100%.
So let's say Specky gets out somewhere else.
No,
Do
not
they
allowed
still
out.
have?
No, we
Okay.
get fined for that. They're microchipped, and if they go out, we get fined.
Okay, but would if any other human came up to Specky, does Specky have inherent rights to life, or is Specky subject
my area,
to
yes.
other humans' whims? Okay.
In my area,
So,
yes.
Is it because you don't want her to suffer because she cares about what happens to her? Like
Well,
you
she
care
knows I-
about her experience, you don't want her to suffer?
You're going backwards.
Do you care about her capacity to suffer?
All
Would
day,
you just
every
kick
day.
okay, exactly. You care that she experiences something positive or negative, especially if it's at your fault. You wouldn't cause Specky unnecessary harm, right? Did you get another call? So Specky, I'm just going to talk anyway. Specky has inherent rights to life, not just because you are her caretaker. Specky has inherent rights to life because Specky is sentient. Specky is having their own subjective experience. They have their own personality, right? They have their own unique likes and wants compared to, let's say, Nala, right? Totally two different cats. And I'm saying that the animals we use, the cows, the pigs and the chickens, the fish, the birds, whatever, they're the same as the animals. We're taking life from someone who is just as sentient as Specky or Nala. So what justifies that? What justifies putting Specky into a slaughterhouse? And I'm here to tell you nothing. I'm sad that we lost you again. But if you wouldn't eat your companions, that should give you a clue to the animals that you do use.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that he had so many cats.
Yeah, yes, and he cares about all of them. He said that they were his family. He said that. I said, would you eat any of... No, I wouldn't eat any of their family. And that he even took sounded like such a deep pause about Specky when I mentioned eating Specky. So I think there was a connection made, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it lived.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. But
all right, here we
I don't know.
go.
It felt like we were getting somewhere. Thank you, Lori.
Hopefully.
Hey, Dan.
Hello.
Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 50.
Okay, perfect. And then, should you respect animals?
I'm vegetarian anyway, so I do respect animals. I wouldn't say I'm vegan because I don't practice a lot of vegan stuff. But I wanted to put a question to you guys. If you're saying that plants aren't sentient, but if tomorrow a scientist said that plants were sentient, what would you guys do?
I would still advocate to go vegan because we would reduce how many plants we force into existence greatly.
What would you eat if plants were sentient?
I mean, we would still have to eat plants. We have to eat something. To exist, you're going to have to take in something, right? But I don't know if you were here earlier. We had a conversation with someone who was concerned about plant sentience, but genuinely also wanted to avoid using animals. And so we were talking about there are plants that you can harvest from if you're concerned about their welfare, like fruit, for example. Often when we pick fruit or when the fruit falls, new fruit takes its place. A lot of the plants we wait until they pass away, and they harvest after the plant has died. And you can look up these foods and find out which ones, fit your narrative. I'm just here to tell you the animals for sure are sentient and you don't need to use them.
Well, I can give you a list of...
I can give you a study too. It's about, over the last 50 years of plant sentience.
This isn't a study. This is a list of what we call animals, crustaceans, whatever, with no brain.
Okay, that's fine. We're talking about the animals we use. I'm not talking about loopholes. I'm talking about cows, pigs, chickens, fish, shrimp. Those things, those animals, those are sentient beings.
So you're saying that plants that can feel, that can virtually...
Well, what do the animals you use eat?
Well, 90%
they eat plants.
Hang on. 90% of the diet of the animals that you're talking about, the pigs, cows, chickens, things like that.
Plants.
90% of that is grass.
It's plants. Is grass a plant?
Grass.
Is grass a plant?
But we don't.
Is grass a plant?
That's just natural.
Is grass a plant? Is grass a plant?
Eat grass.
Yeah, it is.
They don't.
Of course it is.
Okay. Dan, I think you're going into this plants are sentient kind of area, which is derailing.
No. I'm asking.
No. Hold on, Dan, hold on. It's derailing from the actual conversation. And the actual conversation we're having is, should you respect animals? So do you respect animals?
I'm vegetarian. I've already told you that.
Yes. So that means that you still consume dairy and eggs. Is that right?
No.
No, you don't consume anything from an animal.
But I still use wool.
Do you consume anything from an animal?
There's
Wool.
butter, cheese,
No.
yogurt.
He just says he wears wool.
I wear wool.
Do you wear leather?
No, it doesn't hurt the
Okay.
sheep because the
So
sheep
it's just,
still
is it
alive.
just wool that you're using?
Pretty much, but then again,
No, you said pretty much. What all do you use? Let's like lay it out there. What all animals do you use?
That's it. But I also use nylons, things like that as well, which all come from fracking, which kills millions.
Okay, so
of
wool, just so you know, wool, the only reason why the sheep don't lose their wool is because we've made two individuals that would not mate with each other. We forced them together to make a mutated baby that wouldn't lose their wool. We did that to them. We shouldn't be breeding more into existence. You buying wool is demanding more sheep be bred into existence with this handicap where they have to rely on us.
wool.
If you stop buying wool, it's obviously worth something. The farmer, okay, you need to listen for a second. The farmers only make wool to sell. If you stop buying wool, they stop breeding the sheep because it's not profitable. So stop buying wool. Stop demanding these individuals be born with a handicap. That's your fault.
Can I speak now?
Yes.
Right. In England, don't know where you're from, but in England, we hardly breed sheep anymore.
It doesn't matter. Stop buying the wool. Why does this justify you buying wool?
Wool is
why does this
now. Wool isn't worth anything anymore in England.
Why do you want to use wool? Go ahead, Freesia. Sorry.
Now, Dan. Okay, I'm really confused here. So you have a plant-based diet. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and you use wool. That's what you're saying. Is that's the only thing that you use that comes from an animal? Do you buy vegan, cruelty-free products everywhere else?
Yep.
Okay, and why do you make those choices?
Well, when you say vegan free, nothing is vegan free.
I didn't say vegan free. I didn't. I said
animal free. Sorry. Yeah, nothing is animal free.
Okay, so you're basically saying that this this is some fallacy.
If you wanted,
okay, hold on, Dan.
He's appealing to futility, or excuse me, the nirvana fallacy and the hypocrisy fallacy.
Yes.
He's saying that because no one can be perfect, there's no point in trying.
Is that what you're saying, Dan?
I didn't say there was no point in trying, because I am trying. What I'm saying is, if a vegan doesn't hurt anything, any animals.
Okay, hold on. Maybe there's confusion about what veganism is. So veganism is a philosophy that opposes the exploitation of sentient beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what veganism is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So when you were saying that earlier, you still wear clothing, nylon, you still put gas in your car, you still use electricity and things like this. This is all done through fracking, which then hurts the environment, which kills hundreds and hundreds.
Do you think, okay, so hold on. What are you up here advocating for?
I'm not. I'm just saying that
well,
you should practice what you
preach. Okay, do you think that people should do everything within their power within this modern society to avoid the exploitation of other sentient beings?
Yeah. So
okay, so then why are you up here advocating against veganism? What are you advocating for?
What I'm saying is, if a vegan is saying, look, you should not eat meat, you should look after animals, then they should do everything in their power to practice what they preach. So you should get...
Okay, hold on. I think, again, we're talking about the exploitation. We're talking about opposing the exploitation of sentient beings, right? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So that's what we're talking about. We're not, that's it, is just doing everything within your power to not support the exploitation of sentient beings.
So wildlife doesn't matter?
No, of course wildlife matters.
Pigs,
of course it does.
Cows, sheep, chickens, all the things that we can breed.
Those aren't wildlife. No, their lives matter, but hold on, Dan, I want to know what it is you are up here advocating for.
I want to know.
Are you saying that people should not try to do their best to live a way that opposes the exploitation of animals?
What I'm saying is, if you want to go vegan, you should look into everything about veganism. It's not just the fact that we're breeding animals. It's the fact that, you know, vegans put fuel in their car. They ship food all over the world. You're saying about soy.
Okay, but what you're forgetting is that we don't live in this society right now, a vegan society. We live in the world that we currently live in. And it isn't feasible for everybody to be doing that. The things that you're saying are really ableist. No. What you're saying is ableist. You're saying that you shouldn't put gas in your car. There are some people where that's the only transportation. There is no public transportation. So for them, that's the only way they can get around. That's the only way they can get to work. Then you're saying don't support food that's being shipped. For some people, that's the only way that they can get food. So what you're doing is you're actually advocating for food insecurity in food deserts. And that's not okay.
So in England...
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, in England, this is what I'm saying about food. In
Okay,
England,
so I get that you're in England, which it sounds like you have some sort of public transportation, right? Or you have the ability to grow food around you, is that right?
Well, England is mostly, you know, rural. So there's loads and loads of land everywhere. But
Would you say more than the United States?
We can only grow for about 5 months of the year, maybe 6 months of the year, grow food, because our climate isn't stable enough.
There is something called canning your food also that will help it last.
There's also greenhouses you can grow inside, and also we're not advocating against trading either. The plants being transferred from country to country, still less emissions than animal ag. Animal ag emits more greenhouse gases than all transportation combined. So having plants imported to eat is not the problem. But even compared to local animals, like if you went next door and there was a farm that was raising all the animals you use, still more environmentally detrimental than having plants shipped into you.
What's higher on the scale of animal emissions and everything else? What is the highest?
Well, it doesn't even matter. Let's say I steel man you and say that using animals is actually better for the environment. Still immoral because you're enslaving sentient beings for your benefit.
You haven't answered my question. What is the highest thing that in the world that makes the most like emissions for the whole world?
Animal agriculture.
No, it's not. Look it up.
It's pretty high. It uses 83% of our ag land. We have to put fertilizer on their food. That also emits. Like I just told you, they emit more. They emit more than transportation.
What is the highest?
It's animal ag. It's animal ag.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
yes,
it's not. It's fracking.
Okay, Dan, instead of being a jackass, why don't you get to the point? What is your point?
You just said about it, you know,
spit it out.
It's still going to be lower emissions to fly all this food around, but it's
You're such... Listen, if we eliminated animal ag, I want to be clear, this has nothing to do with veganism. I just told you, if it was bad for the planet, I would still advocate for veganism because you're enslaving a sentient being. If we had human slavery that reduced our effect on the climate, would you advocate for human slavery because it's environmentally friendly? It better be no. Your answer better be no. You're muted. Is human slavery justified in the name of climate change?
Human slavery is going on all over the world anyway.
Is it morally justified, Dan?
No, of course it's not.
Exactly. So you saying that animal ag is good for the environment, it doesn't matter to the point. The point is, when you use animals, even the sheep, we have to feed them. We have to provide them shelter. There needs to be space for them. No, they need to be fed. They're not fed. You even said you can't grow plants year round. What are the sheep eating then in the winter? What are they eating in the winter? They're eating things that were harvested. So why don't you just eat the plants that are harvested, Dan? Why do you need to use wool? Why don't you use anything else?
Because
why do you have to have a sentient being shaved for you?
Because I don't like the fact that hundreds of thousands and millions of wild animals are being killed through fracking.
You didn't answer my question. Why are you using wool?
Because it's free.
Okay. Where do you use it? Like, do they give it to you in just a fluff, or do they make it into things and then they give it to you?
They shear it straight off the sheep, because the sheep are used to.
What do you use the wool for?
Farms.
What do you use the wool for?
I spin wool.
Okay, so you're making money off of them. You're selling those things. You're not selling them?
No.
You're telling me that you spindle, but you don't sell what you make?
I don't. No, I've got a job. I'm a teacher.
So this is just pure hobby? You think your hobby, though, is worth supporting? Like, you're literally taking that waste from them. Why do they have the sheep? I understood something about the solar panels. Are they going to unalive the sheep?
No.
Why do they have the sheep? Why do they have the sheep? Why do they have the sheep?
In Cornwall, where I live.
Why do they have the sheep?
To eat all the grass.
So they do. Wait, why do they have the sheep? Answer my question.
The sheep eat the grass that grows.
Use a lawnmower. Use a lawnmower. Are you kidding me? They don't need to breed sheep. You're lying. There's no effing way. There's no effing way that they bought sheep just to trim the grass, Dan. That's ridiculous.
Try looking it up. Google.
What's the name of it? Name the farm. Name it. Name the farm that you know so much about. Name the farm. Name the farm, my friend. Name it. You said you support this one farm. What is it called?
Oh, Tregothon. Tregothon Farm.
Trogothon? Spell it for me.
Tregothen. Cornwall, UK.
Dan, do you think everybody should be using wool?
Not if they're going to buy it, no. Not if they're going to make...
Okay, so why are you up here?
Because I'm saying that you, especially, Freesia, said earlier about lots of different things to this one guy, but you weren't practicing what you preach. You know...
What?
If you could... You were saying about the unaliving of animals.
So you're up here. Hold on. What? So why are you up here? You're saying because we are advocating for respecting animals?
No, what you're saying is
I can't find this.
You'll go along with all the different things that happen to wildlife. You'll go along with that.
No.
You need to put fuel into your car.
I don't whatsoever. Not at all.
You need to put fuel in your car.
Do you know what the number one cause of deforestation is for the Amazon rainforest?
Do I know?
Yeah.
There's fracking for one of them.
What's the number one? What causes 80% of deforestation in the Amazon rainforest?
Just the Amazon.
Just the Amazon. What the
logging?
Nothing.
Logging.
Logging. Why is it being cleared? It's animal agriculture. The reason is animal agriculture. I don't know why he's up here.
Did you kick him?
I didn't.
No. Oh, I didn't either. Okay, so he just dropped.
Just dropped, yeah.
Yeah.
His whole conversation was just about, emissions and fracking and...
I know, he kept going back to that. I was like, we're talking about... I even said, I steel-manned him. Even if it was bad for the environment, they're sentient beings. Don't use sentient beings.
I just don't know what he was advocating for. I mean, he's talking about...
I don't think he knew either. Part of me felt like he was like a troll that just wanted to waste time. Go ahead, Lori, sorry.
Vegetarian either. I don't know.
Didn't sound like it.
No.
He fought so fervently to use animals that apparently all he uses is free wool that was given to him, which is really confusing.
Like he somehow spins to be his only clothing. Like, make it make sense.
What? And you don't sell this. This is purely just for yourself. Like, what happens if they stop giving you wool? Like, are you never going to have clothing again? Spin something else?
No, he'll kill the sheep. He'll kill the sheep. Or sell them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't find... There is a solar farm. They permit sheep to graze under there. but it doesn't say that they're giving away stuff.
I just don't see the point of coming onto a vegan live and talking about that, because you're essentially advocating against veganism at that point.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, which it's like, what? Like, if you want to talk about fracking, go to a fracking live.
Yeah. Exactly. He kept focusing on fracking. I'm like, I mean, again, fracking is because we're running out of oil. And if we stopped animal ag, they use significant amount of oil. Like, that's still towards your cause. We wouldn't have to farm all this land, right? We could use less land to farm on. That's going to use significantly less oil to manage. So if you don't want fracking, then stop using animals, because it's pushing our resources to the limit. I don't like going on about that point, though, because, again, even if it were the opposite point, I would still advocate for veganism, because it's sentient life. If I were the victim, I don't care what happens. I want my freedom. I don't want someone to have rights over my autonomy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Persona is right. I'm sure he probably was about to talk about the AI and the water use with that. If not the almonds and avocados. Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, please. And I'll look into that farm still, because I don't know if they actually give anything away. He might have been lying about that too. 3 senses? Hello?
The Exons.
Hello. 3, what was it?
The Exons, that's the name.
Exons? Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Are you over 18?
The Exons. The Exons. That's...
Oh, the Exons. There's no R there. I'm sorry. The Exons.
Yes, I am, yeah.
Okay, so are you over 18? Exons.
Yeah.
Are you over 18? I can't hear you.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm 30. So.
Should you respect animals?
Yes, I'm 30. Can you hear me?
Am I really delayed?
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Lori or Freesia, am I really delayed?
No, you're good. I can hear you fine.
No, yeah,
okay.
You're okay.
Maybe you might need to leave and come back. It sounds like you're very delayed. No. Maybe he needs to come back, because it seemed like he was very delayed. I don't know if you want to throw someone else at me, Lori. I can bring someone up too.
They drop. Did they drop? Okay.
Yeah. Cars. I only brought someone up just because I thought maybe you were busy or something. Cars.
What's up?
Are you over 18?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Should you respect animals?
I don't know. I'm about to fuck up some Chick-fil-A, though. I like chicken and beef.
It's gross that you do that to your food. Most people don't do that to their food. It's interesting you came here to admit that.
Yeah. He was waiting for a while, too.
That's so sad, you guys. You're that bored. I mean, go do something. If you're just going to prank me, what's the point? It does nothing.
I think Andre's a vegan.
I just came up here. I just came up here to talk about the real problem. It's not mothers and babies being separated. It's not like baby pigs in gas chambers. It's fracking. That's the real issue. We got to address fracking.
There we go.
Yeah, it's fracking. There we go.
I've been enjoying
Moms
a lot
and babies, hush.
Yeah, please silence, because the environment. I don't know. That guy was hilarious. I wanted to compliment the live. I think you've been doing an incredible job. I've been getting some work done watching here for, I don't know how long you've been going, a couple hours, but I really like what you're doing. Love the message. I wish people weren't so stubborn, especially people whose goals are in line with yours. If Dan the idiot agrees with you about caring about animals and the environment, you think he would go vegan and not stand in opposition to you.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like
without a cord?
Oh, I think Lori's talking to somebody.
Yeah, I won't take up too much time on your live because I know you want to talk to opposition, and hopefully you can convince some folks today instead of just running into a wall. But you're doing great work. Keep everything up. Thanks for the background noise. Yeah.
Thank you, Andre. Andre, thank you for coming up here too. I appreciate it. Actually, it was a nice break too.
I almost lost it at first. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Another frack?"
Yeah, right. Like, oh, fracking again.
And I was like, "Oh wait, he's cool."
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, my adrenaline did pop for a second. I was like, oh yeah, he got me good. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'll bring up. I don't know if Lori might be doing something. Are you doing something, Lori?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Don't be sorry. Please don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Sometimes I'm doing stuff like I'll get up.
My son was asking me a question. The other guy that you spoke to, Soul Claus, Stilo, he was up.
Yeah, we can bring it back up. He keeps just leaving for a second, or I don't know, like he gets calls or something.
I don't know what he wants to talk about.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, fracking is a type of getting oil out of the ground. It like sends a shockwave into the earth and makes cracks that pull out.
You're talking about.
Oh no, I was talking about fracking. You have a question here. It says, "What is fracking?" I was just answering it.
You're talking about my land and how my government.
Are you saying where we left off?
Sorry.
I don't know. What are you referencing? Are you saying that the government's fracking on your land?
Yeah, gas, oil, gold, everything.
Yeah. Well, don't they usually pay you for that because it's your land?
No, we don't get paid nothing. They do it for free.
Yeah.
Where you from?
I'm sorry, that sucks. America.
Yeah, and you get half.
So why are you still using animals? Or do you just want to come up here and like try to argue with me? I feel like that's all you're doing. Is you just sit here and you go,
I'm definitely not here to argue. I'm definitely not here to argue.
Okay.
You're from America. I thought you're British.
No, I'm American.
No.
I mean, I'm white, so my family probably comes from different parts of Europe.
That's all good.
So what is it that keeps you from going vegan? Why do you have to use animals?
I love meat.
All right. Is taste pleasure really a moral justification to take someone's life from them who wanted to live?
Yes. Because I was born and bred to do that.
Okay, so I can morally take the lives of babies that are already born out in the world, we'll say like 1 and 2 year olds, to make into baby bacon. That's moral?
Yeah, not bacon, yuck.
I'm going to make them into baby steaks. It's moral that I do that to human babies?
No, yuck.
Good. Okay, I was worried for a second. Good, I agree with you. Can you tell me why it is immoral, in your perspective? Why is it immoral for me to use human babies as my flesh, my meat?
For me against you, I'd use your head as a soccer ball.
I'm glad that you feel that way. Can you tell me why it's immoral for me to do that? What is it that makes it immoral? I agree with you. But now we're talking about why is it immoral?
Oh, don't fucking try and tell me.
You don't want to answer the question?
No, 100% I'm trying to answer.
I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. Do you guys want to talk to him? I'm just going to kick him and we don't need to talk to him anymore because he clearly doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you later, Skillo. If you're going to come up here 3 times and then we get to the point and you're like, you're not going to change me. It's like, okay, so right there, you know what you're doing is wrong. And you don't want to go on this conversation because you know that you're wrong. And you're going to fail in trying to prove animal abuse is okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conversation over and over again. He was the one who had all the cats too.
The ex.
He has all the cats. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If that conversation didn't do it, then I'm not the one to talk to you, man. You need someone that you'll actually listen to.
Right.
Do not trust bot. Are you over 18?
Oh no,
I can't
I'll
hear.
leave now.
Oh,
I'll leave.
I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, you got to be over 18. I do appreciate you being honest, though. If you do have a question, I have no problem answering it in the chat. There's also other vegans in there. TikTok won't let me talk to minors. I don't really care to talk to minors on the internet either. It just kind of feels weird, so.
Right.
Feels creepy.
Okay. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I gotta hop down, but thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming up.
Freesia.
Yeah, I appreciate your support, and yeah, you're awesome.
I appreciate you both. Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good day.
You too. God, I can't leave.
Oh, I'll get you.
It's not letting me
That's
leave.
TikTok, man. GD TikTok. That's hilarious.
The same guy that was on before, the Exence.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't really want to talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring up her. Let's bring up her. Maybe we can have a conversation.
Yeah. Hey, Gabby.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm all right. Are you over 18?
Oh, I am old as dirt. I'm 50.
Right on. I love talking to adults. Thank you. Should you respect animals?
100%. 100 million, billion, zillion %.
Do you use animals?
I was a vegan for a long time, and then I kind of became like a vegetarian. I would get the only thing I eat from animals is eggs from a farm, like local farms around New York. And I don't eat them that often, but if they have a nice farm and they'll put like eggs out, from all their chickens, and then you put in like $5 and that. But that's it. Other than that, I don't eat animals. Okay. No fish, no chicken, no dairy, don't use anything tested on animals. Don't wear anything made of animals.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Why do you choose to do that?
When I was about 19 years old, I came across a PETA video, and it was a slaughterhouse video, and I was so horrified. It was not only the slaughterhouse, but the way that veal was produced. And I literally was so traumatized I had to go to therapy for it. And ever since then, it was good. It was good because my therapist.
I mean, it's good that your eyes were opened. I'm sorry that it affected you so much. Yeah, but it is that traumatic. It is
traumatic.
Yeah.
I think if people
I had
actually
nightmares.
I think if people actually saw it, what went on, and even for dog food companies, they keep dogs in cages and they force feed them, and it's just the animal testing is so cruel, and it could be done, with stem cells, and but animals are cheaper, so nobody cares. And if they saw bunnies getting their chemicals poured in their eyes, and they don't have any tear ducts, so they can't wash it out, and it just burns them. It's just oh god,
terrible.
Yeah,
exactly. So it does sound like you're very close to being vegan. The only difference is that vegans just don't see animals, even the chickens that are laying those eggs, as resources. Those individuals shouldn't be laying eggs as often as they do. And even though it's a really nice farm, I'm sure the chickens are having a comfortable life, but they're still being demanded into existence. And when you pay for those eggs, you're telling them, I like the price, I like how you do things, keep it up because I'm going to buy more. And so when those chickens, I don't know how the farms that you go to deal with chickens, but often when their egg productions decline, they often are turned into soup or they're sent to a slaughterhouse, depending on how many chickens this person has. And often they won't have males, right? You're going to see a bunch of females, maybe a couple of males, most times no males at all. So where are those males?
I'm assuming they send them to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, so if it's a small farm... Oh, go ahead, Lori.
No,
you have
I
more
was going to
experience.
say that's a good question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. They usually will get the chickens from a hatchery. And at the hatchery, they have macerators that blend up the male baby chicks on their first day of life because they have to wait for them to be hatched and then So then, but that's even small farms. They'll still go to the same hatcheries. But even if they have their own eggs, they have some roosters around to grape the chickens to make more chickens, right? They're going to have too many males, and either they will sell them. They don't often grow enough flesh to be like profitable meat chickens, but the farmers will still sell them off, or they will just tie them off in a bag or they're just considered a waste product. So even backyard chickens have exploitation and oppression in them.
I had no idea about that. I was trying.
Well, and like you said, it took seeing it, right? It wasn't until you knew that you could do better.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know of any alternatives? Because I've tried to cook with stuff that needs that base, and I don't know anything to use other than like this kind of thing.
Have you ever tried black salt?
No.
Yeah, it's regular salt that you can put on to anything, and it's very sulfury in the bag, so use very little bit. But you can sprinkle that on just tofu even, and it will taste extremely eggy. It's very, in fact, you know what? I actually have some right now. Let me grab it.
Oh, great.
You can see what it looks like. It looks pink. Here we go. You can also see its other name too. I can't pronounce it correctly. Kala namak. Black salt.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of pink. It doesn't want to show you because it's my face, but you can kind of see it's pink.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. You can buy this online, but a lot of stores carry it now. Very, very eggy. But there's also, if you just want, there's Just Egg that's around. You'll see it in the egg department in your fridged area. There's also for baking, if you don't want to do like a runny egg, there's different alternatives that you can do that are like whole food based. Just look up, egg replacement. Flaxseed is great, bananas, all that stuff for baked stuff. But as far as like just egg stuff, that black salt is amazing. So.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm excited for you. So with that in mind, would you consider going vegan?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yay! Oh my gosh, you just totally made my day.
I was for about 20 years, and then I just started eating actually more than 20 years. And then when I came to, I'm actually an emergency room travel nurse. When I came to upstate New York, there's so many little farms around here, where people have like horses and, like eggs or chickens and things like that. So
it is nice to be around animals. They have a calming effect.
Where I kind of was like, okay, well, to me it was like I didn't, and you could see the chickens running all over the place, Yeah. And so I was just kind of like, oh, well, maybe, this is not so bad, Yeah. But
no, I totally get it. I totally get why it looks that way. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm totally blanking, but what is it?
Egg replacements?
No, well, this stuff, it tastes like cheese. I'm totally blanking right now.
Cheesy stuff like Violife, or do you mean Nooch? Nutritional yeast?
Yeah, nutritional yeast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I use that.
That stuff is so good.
It is very good.
Yeah, I like to actually mix that with the black salt when I'm making like an egg scramble out of tofu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's delicious.
That's great. That's so great.
But those smaller farms that, it's not that they don't care about their animals. They do care about them to an extent. They're going to give them, and I do think those animals do deserve high welfare, but we shouldn't be breeding animals into existence just to use them, as you already agreed with us. And it's so easy to be misled by animals that look happy, for sure. Like I honestly went down the same route. I used to have companion sugar gliders that I rescued. And I would still make egg for them, but I still didn't really understand the egg industry. So I was right there with you. I felt like I was getting the highest welfare I could, but I didn't understand what was behind it.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you sound like you're right there. It's so exciting.
Rescue.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please.
It's so good for you living on a plant-based diet. You know, being an emergency room trauma nurse, you know, I see so much in the ER, and it's so much that could be avoided if somebody took out a predominantly plant-based diet or a fully plant-based diet. Because all, you know, strokes, heart attacks, you know, everything we see, you know, obesity, you know, congestive heart failure, all that kind of stuff.
Alzheimer's and dementia too.
Yeah.
We were talking about this book earlier. I don't know if you were here.
Oh no, I wasn't.
How not? This is by Dr. Gregor's, a whole team though, and they just go over science and evidence-based health information, which is really nice. And they actually make videos about all the stuff they go over here too. They're the nutritionfacts.org right here.
Oh, great.
And they go over all those studies about health and nutrition. They even have what's called the Dailey Dozen, which I love because it's an easy checklist for whole foods to make sure you get everything you need in a diet.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, super convenient. Yeah, just Dailey Dozen.
I did recently take a class this past winter. Harvard is doing this just amazing thing. They have this like certification that you can get your plant-based diet like certification so you can help other people. And
that's
it's
freaking awesome.
All these Harvard professors and stuff like that talk about a plant-based diet and why it's so important for not only the environment, but animals' welfare and human health.
Wow.
So if you look up the Harvard website, it's somewhere on there, and it's like, I think it was like $250 to take the class, but it was so informative. You know,
yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of what I already know, but I mean, they really delve really, really deep into it.
I'm going to look into that because that's pretty sweet. Yeah, we need more information like that. Because that's why I always point out Challenge 22, because it's a free resource for people to talk to a dietitian about, you know, what's healthy. And yeah, if we had something that was even more local, because this is in another country, but they cater to the whole world. They try to, at least. If we had more of those kind of places that were offering information like that, I understand you said it was a class you had to pay for, but if we had more people educated that were out there educating others, oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, the momentum we could have, absolutely. Because everyone is truly just afraid of change because they're not used to what they need to eat. I think most people do agree that causing animals unnecessary harm is wrong. It's just they're scared of change, and especially if you don't know what to replace.
Yeah.
So
correct, and they don't know how to replace it and how to change it. It could just be like little bits at a time, you know, just start adding more plants.
Well,
you know,
I mean, I do understand that from like an environmental perspective. Yes, I reducitarianism, but I'm not advocating for the environment here. It's for the animal rights, and if we find you know, an injustice to be immoral, we should just stop it altogether. Like if you're punching your wife once a week, or excuse me, you punch your wife every day and then you reduce to once a week, like, are you really a better person?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that's when it comes down to the animals. Obviously, when it comes to climate change, we all need to do our part that we're capable of doing. So,
yeah. I think all of it is, you know, all of it, because I think, you know, climate, you know, my biggest thing is for the animals, but also with the climate change. I mean, that is reducing their resources. You know, they're having the wild animals are having to move further and further and further to find water, to find food, because it's like, I always like to say that, you know, I'm not a religious person, but animals were put here first. And, you know, and the Bible even says that we were given dominion over animals, not dominance. Ooh, you know, so if you want to go the biblical
Are you
route,
Christian?
No, I'm actually pagan.
Oh, okay. You might still also like this documentary. It's called Christspiracy, and they look at old scrolls and certain definitions that might have been misinterpreted. And I'm not religious, but it was still really interesting to me, and it's something that I share with other people that I do know that are religious, because if I were because they go over multiple religions. If I was any religion it's more towards like those Christian-based ones. But if I was manipulated this way, I would want to know. So you might resonate with some of those lies. You might, because, you know, usually pagans are aware of a lot of those lies that were fed to those people. But it's still an eye-opening documentary, and I suggest everybody should go watch it. It's pretty good.
I call myself a recovering Catholic.
Yeah, it's a fan. I don't have any specific religion that I'm recovering from, but I did for a while go to like the Jump for Jesus kind of churches, and I was exposed to that kind of lifestyle, but I don't know, my path led me different ways, and then I learned about how I was exploiting animals unknowingly, and that just kind of really took my attention the most because it was just so shocking. But
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being up here. Are there any other questions, or did you want to just hang out? I was going to
I'd
pull
love
up
to
guests.
just hang out.
Okay, cool. I will let you know that we're advocating for abolition. I don't advocate for baby steps, as we just went over, and that's about it, actually. Yeah, abolition.
Well, and I agree with you. You know, when you put into perspective about the man, like, punching
Right, exactly.
Like,
I have a
okay,
fist. Does that give me right to go? And
take that back. I take that back.
Exactly. Yep. I like to reference that a lot, even when people go to canine teeth. Like, I got my little snaggler here that's like a sharp-looking canine. People will say, "Oh, we have canines," and it's like, so again, I have my fist. It can, makes a fist. I can punch things. Does that mean it's my right to punch people?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you look at the digestive tracts and teeth of carnivorous animals, say like a dog, all their teeth are sharp.
Yeah.
It's not just, they don't have molars. All their teeth are sharp. So
Yep,
and
exactly.
And then their digestive tract is also different. Ours are shorter, theirs are longer, type of thing.
Or it's the other way. We have
vice versa. Yep, sorry.
Yeah.
Versa. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah,
So, and then, when you look at all the diseases caused by, eating animals, like I said it before, like cancer and heart failure and atherosclerosis and heart attacks and strokes and things like that. I mean, and there are some pretty healthy people out there that can get those, but that could also be inherited.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I mean,
there's also the fact that it's like, so as a ethical vegan, I'm not denying that people can't be healthy using animals, because they can. There is a way to be healthy and use animals, but that's why it's like, it doesn't matter that we can. It's that since we can thrive with using plants, what then morally justifies using animals? Like, yes, you can be healthy on animals, but there's a victim involved. So what justifies that? That's usually that's where we're getting at for the most part. So if anyone does claim to be healthy eating animals, it could be true. But yeah, you are still absolutely correct that it appears very clear that using animals is leading to our demise, as our top unalivers are cardiovascular disease, as you just listed, heart attacks and clogs and diabetes, Alzheimer's, all of those. They are saying we could reverse with a plant-based diet.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
And they do talk about that in the Harvard. I think it's called plant-based sustainable or sustainable plant-based diet or something like that. And they do talk about that,
I'll look it up because I definitely want to check that out.
It's a great
Lori.
class. It's like, I think it was like 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fascinating. Like, I printed up everything, and they give you like food options and how to mix your how to mix your foods to get a complete protein. And I mean, it was phenomenal. And there was a lot of stuff, like I said, I already knew, but it also brought me to stuff I didn't know that definitely want to make me really continue on this plant-based diet.
Yeah, it sounds pretty close to Challenge 22, except for it's 22 days. What'd you say, Lori?
I'm sorry, I don't know why my phone keeps dropping. I don't understand what's going on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was some other error and that's why you dropped.
No, it's okay.
Damn TikTok. It does. It seriously keeps having errors. I don't know why. It does it to Lori almost every time where she can't mute herself. And then Freesia earlier couldn't drop.
Right.
Anyway.
So I actually do have a question, though, because, I have a dog,
Mm-hmm.
which is obviously a carnivorous creature. So
Well, they're omnivorous, but they obviously, like you said, they
Right.
have those teeth. They are more meant to consume
Correct.
animals. Yeah. Hmm.
So, and I've been looking for alternatives, but she's got a very, very, very sensitive stomach. So her food is the sensitive stomach ProPlan kibble, and I hate using ProPlan because they're one of those testers on animals.
Yeah.
But then I'll get like salmon from the store for her, so it's very hard on me because it's like.
Right.
I don't know.
So
a lot of good alternative plant foods for dogs now and cats, if you want to look into that.
I'm sorry, say that one more time, hon.
They have a lot of animal plant products for dogs and cats now for their food, and I'm just saying you might want to look into that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be very good and healthy, but they are able to make this out of plants.
I will definitely look into it.
Can't hear you, Anna.
Sorry. If I tap my headphones, it starts to play music, and so I'm like sitting there struggling, and then I was muted. So anyway, I had some of the vegan dog foods.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they have different flavors too.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm definitely gonna look into.
Yeah,
they also have. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm destroying my scene here. There we go.
Wow. I did not even know they made those.
Yeah.
Ah. Sorry, it's backwards, so it takes me a second. There we go.
Yeah, if you want to screenshot
It's okay. I got it. Yep, I screenshotted that one.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you so much.
They all also have dry kibble options as well. So there's different choices.
Amazing. Thank you.
Even in the let's say that because you said that she has a sensitive tummy, and you find out maybe she can't handle any of those, it's still it's understandable if you're caring for her. You don't want to make her sick, so definitely care for her the best you can. I would just say that always, if she doesn't like any of those, just always be active looking for something for her to try. But I would never advocate for anyone to harm their companion animals. There is argument for necessity, because I think you said you have a snake too, right? Was that you or someone? Oh, are you losing service?
Who?
I think Gabby lost service. I can't hear her.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in and out too a little bit. So if I don't.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Are you there? Well, I'll follow you in case you have to drop. That way we still have some kind of connection.
Drop and come back.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
No.
Like it's been doing.
I'll invite you back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be just TikTok.
Right.
Dang. I'll just stop that. Let's see, where are we at right now? I mean, I might just go for another 30 minutes anyway.
Okay.
But if she does come back, she's welcome back up. And I did see that the I forgot already. Xents.
Yeah, accents.
I want to say S because X makes an S sound, so I want to say the sense. Zents.
Yeah, he wants to ask a question, but I said it's up to you. I told him it's up to you if you want to bring
Did he say what his question was in the chat at all?
He did not. No.
Okay. Yeah, you can bring him up. I just feel like it's not going to go anywhere, but I'll answer his question if it's a genuine question.
Okay. We'll give him one try.
Yeah. All right.
Hello. Hi.
Hey. All right. What was your question?
Yeah, I mean, the last time I came up, I had a network delay, so he said I should come up when I get it straight.
Got it. I can't ever remember who I've had a bad conversation with, so if I kick them, I'm like, okay, we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where were we then?
Yeah, I mean, I can just get straight to the question, but I'll get straight to that, then I'll get to the other one after. But I think there was a guest that came up. A guest came up.
Do you think
when
we
were
should
making
respect animals?
Yeah,
We're
no,
not.
no.
Okay, this is what I want to focus on. I don't really want to talk about other
Okay.
guests, unless you're
Right.
just talking about their point, which is fine.
Right. Okay. We can get straight to the point then. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a big thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we should respect animals.
You don't think we should respect animals, or we do?
I don't think we should. Well, respect. Respect is a different term. I think we can. I think we should treat them nice, but I don't think we should respect them.
Okay, so for example, if I wanted to just take the life of a cow for fun, would that be moral?
It wouldn't be immoral.
No. Would it be? I'm sorry. Would it be moral, not immoral, but would it be moral for me to take the life of a cow for fun?
For fun. Yeah, it would be. It would be.
It would be moral or immoral?
It would be moral because the cow is not a sapient.
So you think it's moral to take animals' life for fun?
Well, it's not nice. I wouldn't assign it to him.
I didn't ask if it was nice. I'm asking if it's moral to take the life of an animal for fun. So I buy dogs from a shelter. I buy dogs from a shelter, and I bring them home, and I cut their head off painlessly. I knock them out, and then I take their head off, and I think it's fun, and I keep doing that. I just keep. Why is that immoral?
That's not good.
Why?
I'm going to use it as a judge of character to the person, but
why is it wrong? Why do you think it's bad?
I wouldn't say it's not. There's no moral value to it. But I wouldn't hold the person against it. I wouldn't put.
It gives me entertainment. Gives me entertainment. Keeps me off the streets.
Okay, you're gonna have to. Yeah, the person's gonna have to justify that very well. So I don't know how they're gonna do that. But
right,
if they
because
can
it's not moral. I can go do something else, right, to entertain myself. I don't need to take the life of a cow or a pig or a chicken or a dog. I don't need to take their life for no reason, right? That's immoral.
Well, I mean, if you're going to draw that extreme, then if it helps the person's mental health, then wouldn't you say the person should do it?
What if they totally seem sane? This is their entertainment.
Well, I mean, people seem sane all the time, but saying sanity is not written on the forehead.
Yeah, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was actually deemed sane.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay.
If it helps
so was it moral for him to hunt down free-range, happy humans who had a great life and didn't see it coming? Was it moral for him to do that?
It wasn't moral. I draw a distinction between humans.
Why is it not moral to do that to humans?
Because humans are sapiens. You're different from sentients.
We have humans that aren't. We have humans that are not sapient. We have humans that are just sentient. Would it be moral for me to exploit those humans that are not sapient but just are sentient?
No, for humans it's impossible for you to be.
I agree. No. There are humans that are not sapient. There are humans that completely need total care. They don't understand anything around them, no moral constructs. They don't understand. They couldn't get a job. They will forever need to be taken care of. But they're still sentient. They still play with toys. They can still make friends. They still move about the world. Can I exploit those individuals morally?
No, because they're still humans. Humans and animals are different.
So what is it about those humans that I just described that we're trying to preserve and not exploit? What is it that they're experiencing?
Okay, they still possess knowledge of understanding. They can still reflect, and they still have capacity to think.
They're sentient. They're weighing out their experiences and making preferences, right? They have a personal interest in continuing to live. And it would be immoral for me to force my purpose onto a vulnerable individual that maybe doesn't understand everything, right?
A vulnerable human, yes, it would be immoral.
Right. So what is it then that makes it different? Why are you okay with oppressing animals, but not okay with oppressing the humans that I described? What is it that morally makes them different?
Why isn't the loaded language of oppression? That's not how we
What is
operate.
oppression? Do you know what oppression is?
Yeah, but that's a loaded language. You're loading the question.
No,
But that's
I'm
an
using it accurately. We oppress animals. You don't think we oppress animals? You don't think that we're making animals do things that they don't want to do?
Why is the morality in us? Animals oppress each other.
So veganism is a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. We are sentient. We only care about each other's sentience. Despite our intelligence, despite our ability to give back to society, we find it immoral to exploit any human. And I'm telling you, the animals are just as sentient. Sentience is binary. You either are experiencing life or you're not. And if we care about our own sentience, like let's say, bam, bop on the head, hope it never happens to you, but you get bopped on the head, you no longer have the capacity to be sapient. You're only sentient. You're still alive. You still can enjoy things. But you would still want your autonomy protected, right? You wouldn't want to be violated, right? Just because you can't think about thoughts doesn't mean you don't care about what happens to you. The animals we use, we have evidence that they are sentient. I don't know if you know, but you're muted. The mute button's right there.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Oh,
Okay.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have a burning building and you have a goat and a baby inside, which one you have to save one? Which one would you pick?
Oh, if I have to choose between a goat and a human baby?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is just a value system. I would probably choose the baby because I'm biased for my own species. But let's say a similar scenario. There's an old person and a baby in the fire. Who are you going to save?
Right. And I have to pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll pick the baby because the old person is also good.
Does that mean now that you can exploit old people because you value babies more?
No, we still have. But
so that's why I'm trying to point out your scenario of if I'm going to save a baby over a goat is the same as if you would save a baby over an old person. And that doesn't mean, even though you value something, you're just telling me your value system. That doesn't tell me that the reason why I should respect and not respect somebody, right? That doesn't mean just because they're not in your like I don't like my neighbor. I love my partner, but I don't love my neighbor. Does that mean I can exploit my neighbor?
You keep drawing equality between animals and humans. Don't you see any
We're
distinction
morally the same. We're morally the same. There
Morally
is
the
nothing
same.
about animals that morally matters that makes it justifiable, morally justifiable to use them when you're not in a state of survival or self-defense. There's no moral reason or justification. So that's why you're struggling to answer that question, because when I ask you, why is it immoral to stab a mentally handicapped person that can't reflect on anything, right? They're just sentient. Why is it immoral for me to do that to them, but it's okay to do it to animals?
No, I wasn't struggling. What I had to point.
Can you answer that then? Don't go the long route. Just answer. What is it? Is it intelligence? Is it the body shape? What is it? Is it DNA? What is it that you go, humans are one thing, animals are another, even though humans are animals?
Okay. But what's the question again? Between who and who? Who are you comparing?
What morally justifies stabbing an animal but not stabbing a human that has similar cognitive ability?
Yeah, because human beings have a moral value. Animals don't.
Why don't animals have moral value?
Because animals grape each other all the time, and they do.
Humans grape each other all the time. Humans unalive each other unjustly all the time. Human mothers have unalived their babies. Humans are awful. Humans do the most damage than any animal. Did you know I want you to hear this, our current mammal biomass, that means all their bodies, 60% animals we use, 60. Guess how many wild animals make up the mammal biomass?
Hold on, let me finish.
4%. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So those animals that you're talking about that are hurting other animals to survive, tiny, tiny fraction. We are huge. Humans are everywhere. We destroy everything. So then what is it that you just said that animals are terrible because they grape each other. And I just gave you a string of examples of humans being worse. So why can't we wipe out humans who are overpopulating, spreading disease, and unjustly harming other sentient beings? Why don't we just unalive those humans? You're muted.
Okay, I don't know why you muted me. I barely speak.
It's because I want you to listen. You're trying to talk instead of listen. Just hear what I have to say. So what is it that morally justifies using animals and not humans?
Because animals don't have a moral value. They don't have a moral code, and they cannot correct. They have no remorse. They don't create any system to correct their system.
Yeah,
they cannot distinct.
That's
What?
not true.
They do.
They can distinct, and they do have morals. If you've ever seen a mother cow, when her baby is born, the baby is taken away within a day or two, and that mother not only tries to protect the baby from the farmer, but also cries out for days looking for that baby. So
That's
you're
instinct,
not correct,
not
and
it's not
other
moral.
animals do that too. If you look at any animal, they do that with their children. They are protective. They are loving. You know, so
That's not moral.
That is
Morality
moral,
different.
and
That's
you can't.
instinct.
No,
You're-
that's morals.
You're drawing equivalence between morality and instinctive value. Animals
So
have
can we
instinct.
do whatever we want
Morality
to
is
animals? Is that what you're saying?
That's what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
We can do whatever we
What I'm
want to
saying
animals. I can do whatever I want to animals.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what
What
can I
is-
do to animals?
Okay. What I'm saying
What can I
is
do to... Oh, okay.
humans. What can you do to animals? Is that your question?
Yes, what am I allowed to do to animals?
I mean, that's going to range over different things. It's going to be subjective, but I mean, in general.
See,
in
exactly. Like, why don't you understand? Like, why don't you ask the animal? What do the animals think? Do you think they think any way of being unalived is moral? Do you think they like that when they wanted to continue living?
The difference is you can ask me that, but you can't ask the animal that. They won't tell you. They
Have
can't
you ever
communicate
been to a slaughter farm? Have you ever been to a slaughter farm?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, you heard of it. Why don't you watch Dominion? It's a 2-hour documentary, and then come back and tell us what you think. Okay,
I've seen
because that's
it.
standard. That's
Not
standard
Dominion.
practice everywhere.
Not Dominion. I've seen animal farms, like not Dominion, like in real life.
Okay, well, those cows are put in a chute, and one at a time, they are unalived, and they can hear the other cows screaming. They can smell the blood. Do you think? And that's why they are fearful and try to turn around, but they can't, or they try to jump over the stall. You know, and some of them have made it, and some of them haven't. They know what's happening.
Okay.
They know it's going to happen. So I would suggest watching Dominion.
I don't have to watch. I've seen animal farms. I mean, animal farming is what Dominion is about, right?
It's standard practice for all of this, yes, and it shows. It doesn't. It shows halal too. It doesn't. It shows everywhere.
I've seen animal farms like in real life. A lot of these documentaries tend to hyperbolize.
It's not just their farms, it's how they're unalived.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, well, they know they're going to their death, so and like I said, any animal will protect their baby. Any animal. Yeah. I was grew up on a farm too, and I had a cow, and that cow would push a ball to me. I'd push it back to her. We would walk around. She was loving. She'd lay on my lap, put her head on my lap, for scratches, so it's they do know what's going on. They do have morals.
This idea you guys draw in this compassion, you keep using cow. We can extend it to other creatures as
Any
well.
animal. Yeah, I used to have a chicken that was the same way. And the time when I was younger, you could raise a chicken in elementary school and take him home, and that's what I did. And that
animals are
chicken.
safe. I'm saying use dangerous animals. Let's talk about venomous snakes. Do you think they should have?
What
Do you
about?
think they should? If you're going to equate moral value with animals, then are you saying animals should have voting rights, like rights, human rights that we have?
Gosh, I'm done.
That's not even a valid argument. Voting rights.
Morality is
Voting
where
rights?
is why we give rights.
Voting rights has nothing to do with morality. Number one.
Do you know what morality is?
Do you know what morality is? Do you know what morality is? What is morality then? Why don't you break it down for us since you know so much? Why don't you tell us what morality is? Break it down. What is it?
You guys have been asking me questions. I haven't asked enough. I'm asking you.
What is morality? Answer my question.
To ask her. What was your one question you wanted to ask her that you told me in the chat?
I mean, it's kind of big, and I've already asked it, but she was equating. She gave an example with one of the guests. With a baby, it was so disingenuous. I had to.
Yeah, you can't even point out the moral difference.
You're still not answering the question. What is morality? Define
I can point the
morality.
moral difference. I pointed it out. Okay.
Principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong. Are you listening? Principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. That is the definition of morality.
Okay. Do animals have that?
No. Do you know what moral agents and moral patients are? Okay. Do you know what moral agents and moral patients are? Moral agents are individuals like you and me who can weigh out what's right and wrong. We understand moral constructs. Moral patients are more like children, right? They may have some idea of what morality is. They may have no idea what morality is, right? Children do things that are immoral because they don't understand. And for that reason, we don't hold them to the same standard. So the wild animals that you're referencing are moral patients. They're doing what they need to survive. They don't have the time or the capacity to weigh out what's right and wrong. They don't have that luxury. They're surviving a harsh environment. You go to a grocery store. You go to a grocery store. What justifies you using animals?
We're like that too. We get nutrients or higher nutrients from them.
You can get all your nutrients from plants.
Oh, no. You are
different
wrong, friend.
Go for it, Gabby. Go for it.
Wait.
No, we don't get higher nutrients from eating animals. We get higher nutrients from a plant-based diet. Is scientifically accurate.
Okay, I can give you a study where you actually do that.
What's the study? Because I've studied it. And this is the field I work. This is the field I work in.
Because you work in that field doesn't mean you have the whole knowledge of that field.
Because I work in what?
Because you work as a nurse doesn't mean you have the whole knowledge of everything. Nobody knows everything.
I never said I knew everything, but I did take studies on holistic nutrition, holistic health.
Right.
And there are way more studies, and of course, the studies that you're probably reading are by a big pharma, big food industry. They want you sick. They want you sick. They want you to eat meat. They want you sick because they want you in the hospital. Because if you're in the hospitals make money. Big pharma makes money. They want you sick.
Most people don't fall sick off of eating meat alone. There's a whole lot of factors. It's not just
I'm sorry. Are the hospitals full of vegans or non-vegans?
Non-vegans.
Both, actually. I've worked in hospitals. That's not true. Not Vegas. That's not true.
No. What have you done in hospitals?
Oh, I've been a nurse. I've been a pediatrician. I've been several things. Yeah. I've also worked as an EMT, emergency response.
All right, this is like real life. This is like the real life Kendall. He puts on all the different outfits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've been a pediatrician.
I'm telling a lie, but she's telling the truth. How do you know that?
I mean, because we were talking about it earlier.
Okay, that's biased.
She was up here earlier talking about her background and what she had gone through.
I was an EMT, I was a paramedic, and then I became a nurse. And I've been a nurse for 15 years, ER and trauma.
Right.
And I've studied. I have studied. I don't rely on biased articles that I could find to prove my point, because most of those are by the meat and dairy industry, and they want you sick because they work with Big Pharma. The sicker you are, the more money that Big Pharma makes, the more money that hospitals make.
Exactly. This is not, you're not from biased media. No, that's not true. You just made that up.
You would know that if you worked in these fields. And the thing is, too, all of the crap that's put in our food makes us sick. So,
National Library of Medicine, is that a biased source?
I'm sorry?
You can look it up. You can look up every
National Library of
ingredient.
Medicine.
You can look up every ingredient next time you buy a box of cereal or something, and then or chips or whatever, candy. You'll see what's in it.
Also, there's the group called the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They're the largest body of diet professionals, people that focus on how diet affects your health. The largest body of these professionals in the world. They influence governments on their food suggestions or whatever. They have it clearly stated on their website that a vegan diet is safe and healthy for all stages of life, including pregnancy, nursing, infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, even elderly age. It even mentions it's great for athletes, and it's preventative to many of our chronic ailments like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. So we have evidence, strong evidence. It's not just their opinions. This is thousands of peer-reviewed studies that they've gone over. Go look at their website, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and go see for yourself. Go see for yourself if a vegan diet is safe and healthy. But now that we know that it is, don't you think you have a moral obligation to live vegan, knowing that you don't need to cause animals unnecessary suffering? Because if me kicking a dog is immoral for my fun, if that's immoral, absolutely increasing the violence to removing their head is worse.
No, it's not immoral. You keep using morality wrong. Morality is...
I'm not using immoral wrong. I'm telling you what's right and wrong. That's morality. I just gave you the definition.
Yeah, morality is wrong. You don't apply to animals. We don't.
Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm really tired talking to you.
He's just going around in circles.
I mean, he's not even gonna admit what's real. So yeah, he's gonna deny reality. What are we doing here?
Exactly.
Gabby, by the way, well done. And Lori,
Gabby,
yeah,
I
you both.
appreciate
That was fantastic. Yeah. All right, Red. Oh gosh, I'm really bad with my Roman numerals.
13.
5, 6, 7. Oh, 13. Okay, thank you. Red 13 com. Is it right if I just call you Red?
Red's fine.
Or Red 13.
Yeah, hi Red.
Are you over 18?
I'm 37.
Right on. Are you vegan?
I am vegan.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah!
At least I consider myself vegan.
I mean, why are you vegan?
I'm vegan for animal rights and whatnot.
Sounds vegan to me.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
Yeah,
no,
fantastic.
I don't want to derail the conversation too much, but I just had a short vegan ethics question.
Please.
Okay, so I have rats, and I picked up. There was a rat at the pet store who had been in a top once, and I picked him up. Was that wrong?
Oh, that is kind of a challenging one in the vegan community. So I personally, that's a tough one because the animal itself doesn't understand, right? They don't know that you're paying money for them and putting another mouse in their place. They just want to be free. But you are essentially paying for another mouse to take their place. So it's not like the best form, but you know, your heart is clearly in the right place, if that makes sense. Unless you're purchasing them for yourself. If you're purchasing them because you think it'd be fun to own a rat.
No, I raised rats before, and it just looked so pathetic. And then I asked how long it had been there, and they said 4 to 6 months, and it was a tiny tank. And yeah, he lived a really good life. He passed about 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
sorry.
So he's the one on the left. If you see the picture, his name's Apollo.
Aww.
And then the one on the right is Aries, who is a rescue rat. He came from the shelter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
that's the
what?
best
Rats.
places you're going to help out.
Yeah.
Shelters.
So, one other question. I saw this come up in chat. What about once all the farm animals are gone? Somebody was asking about how the wild animals would get overpopulated, and I was thinking like culling is something that we're not necessarily against, like for wildlife conservation, but not to
it is a
eat the
tool in the
meat.
toolbox. Right, we don't see
So-
them as resources, but it's when we're trying to consider their best interests at the same time, you know, but I personally, I feel that we, as conservationists and people who like nature, we turn so quick to violence to unalive other nations of beings. If you think, you know, like we're wiping out a whole group of individuals just because, you know, we find them inconvenient, and instead of thinking a little more about the situation and making, you know, improving their environments, right? So they stay out of our areas. If we stopped using animal ag, we'd reduce our land use greatly and could give back so much land that they could just spread out. They wouldn't bother coming into our areas. And was it wildlife that you said would overpopulate, or the animals we use? I did hear you
No,
say
somebody
overpopulation.
said that if we stopped eating animals, that wildlife would overpopulate the planet, or would get overpopulated. And I was just thinking that like culling's not necessarily something that we're
Right.
like 100% against. It's just a matter of not eating the meat and being
There's
methodical about what you do.
But
Yeah,
I
and they're
think
also- Go ahead, Gabby.
sorry. I think that if we stopped, I think the biggest thing is, you know, raising cows and chickens and you know, every other kind of animal for food. It takes up a lot of land, a lot of resources. It contaminates the land. If we took all that away and the wildlife had their own land, there would be a natural kind of selection. They would do their own thing. You know, they would, the predators would take out the prey, all that kind of stuff. It would be symbiotic. Like it would handle itself. I don't think they would overpopulate. I think who is overpopulated is us. We dropped a house on their land. They didn't drop a house on ours.
Right.
So they have no room because of us. Because we keep breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding, and then we have our factory farms that take up a lot of their land. We're cutting down forests to breed cows and to, you know, for meat for humans. We're wiping out the planet. And if we took all that away, there would be their own natural selection where, you know, you would have the predators, you would have the prey, and it would handle itself.
Yeah, there's also contraceptive use where you can actually just dart them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I support the live. I think it's great. Keep doing what you're doing. Can you kick me? I don't know how to get out.
Yeah, no problem. It might be TikTok too. It hasn't been letting people drop. All right, see you later, Red. Thank you for coming up, and I followed you back. So, yeah. Thank you for coming up. Bye.
Yeah, I followed him.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and also I just want to say, like, yeah, Gabby, fantastic for like being right out of the gate. But and also, like, Lori, I'm loving that you're speaking up. I feel like you've been quiet the last few lives, and it's just making me so happy to hear you speaking.
Yeah, I don't want to, you know, interrupt or talk over.
Sometimes no, please do.
I get frustrated by these people who just keep going in circles and not making a point. You know,
yeah. Please speak over me. I really, because sometimes sometimes I'm going to walk myself into a corner unknowingly, and yeah, it just helps when you guys speak up.
Good.
Appreciate you guys. Okay. Should we have another guest? Let's see where we at in time.
Yeah,
no, it's actually 12.
You're at
let's go.
Girl, you're at 61K.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's so wow.
Yeah.
Oh guys, all the hearts. I love it. Thank you. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Part of me wants to call it because this is where I call it usually, but also I don't know. How do you guys feel? Do you want to keep going?
I'm up for it if you're up for it. You.
Lori, oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Sierra. Lori, goodness,
Oh yeah, Sierra's in the
Lori, thank you for the gift. Thank you. You don't have to do that. You do it every time too.
It's okay. You deserve it.
I want to be able. So when TikTok went down, that big
in what you do, and allowing me to help out with your lives.
And I appreciate that too, for letting me pop in and speak, my truth and what I think, because it's so important. It's so important. These animals are they're so innocent. They love, they hurt, they feel. It's just so important for people to recognize that, and understand that.
Yeah,
they're innocent like babies.
They really are.
I would equate them to human babies because they're so innocent. They don't know any better. They don't know why they're being tortured, why they're being, hurt. They don't have a cognition of that. So it's really heartbreaking that, these beautiful animals, oh my God, like cows too. Cows are so special. They're just so loving.
Yeah, the little grass puppies, or big grass puppies.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And nobody understands that. Like, they love, they feel, they hurt, they cry like crazy. When their babies are gone, they cry like crazy when their friends are unalived. You can't say that they have no feelings.
Right.
There was someone, I want to say it was Joey, but there's other activists too that went on to like sanctuaries, and there's stories of these dairy cows that came to the sanctuaries pregnant, and they're seen with basically PTSD. They're hiding their babies because they know the cycle that's going to ensue, so they hide their babies from the sanctuary owner. And we know they know what's going on.
Until they can trust them. That's totally true.
Yeah, I agree, Lori. They totally do. They know. Yeah. They don't have to have more brains to understand pain and hurt and desperation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I believe because of my heritage. That's what I believe, and they've been here a lot longer than us, so and have been able to, live their lives.
Yeah, right. Everyone seemed to be fine until the humans started to affect it. Like all these animals that we farm right now, we're doing fine out in the wild until we plucked them out of their home.
Oh yeah, and the ones that are going extinct, it's terrible. A lot of
they're going extinct for the 4 or 5 animals that we constantly breeding.
Yeah. And the animals that are becoming extinct, are like a lot of them are for trophies. Like when you remember, or you've probably heard that the buffalo were almost extinct.
Yeah.
And that, like, who are we? Who are we? And if you are a Christian or a God-fearing person and you're wiping out an entire population of animals, that's not in the Bible. The Bible doesn't say you could just like wipe out. In the Bible it says we have dominion, not dominance over animals.
Right.
So it doesn't.
Is a good dominator? Are they good to you by using you and taking your life, or by being benevolent and compassionate and not harming you?
Correct, exactly.
Yeah. Which is better? I love also the question that they pose in Christspiracy, which is how would Jesus unalive an animal? Which is, like a thought that most Christians haven't thought about.
Right.
Yeah. Which is what that movie is great for. Kind of breaks down all those interpretations and like, oh, look, there's actually this pattern that's been happening even before Jesus came into the picture.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why, I think, like, like, again, I'm not a Christian, I'm a recovering Catholic, but, if there was a Noah's Ark, he didn't bring on a ton of people. He brought on animals.
Right. That's
and
right.
He let all the people drown. There was a reason for that. God kept wiping out the people for a reason.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
I
it
didn't
wasn't
even
the
think
first
about
time.
that.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time he wiped out the people. So it's like, you know, I mean,
Such a
think
good
about
point.
it.
Yeah,
You
such
know,
a
he
good
brought in
point.
all the animals and drowned all the people.
I often will refer people to the Garden of Eden just because it was God's. It was claimed to be God's most perfect creation, and there was no death, there was no suffering. The individuals didn't use each other. Adam and Eve were meant to just steward the animals, take care of them, name them, or whatever. It wasn't until sin entered the world that they were then allowed to use animals for survival. And I try to point that out to people, like, wouldn't this be kind of a test that you have free will now, and the way you're using it, with instead of trying to live as close to God's perfect creation, you're using the excuse that you're imperfect to continue to be imperfect instead of striving to be what God wanted you to be, right? Like, I thought that was the whole point of being Christian, is to strive to be as close as you can to him, to be whatever he wanted you to be. And all I ever hear when people bring up religious excuses, he says dominion.
Yeah, exactly. They use that all the time.
Dominance. Not
Or
dominion.
dominance. Yeah. Oh no, it says
dominion.
it says dominion over the animals.
Yeah, which means you're supposed to be a steward. You're supposed to take
Yeah,
care of the animals.
I don't remember. They actually look at the Latin word, and they see it used in other parts of the sea scrolls, and they found that it more closely translates to steward than it does dominion.
Correct.
And there was another one, like when Jesus is in the picture, when he goes into the den of thieves, the word for thieves is also known as violent ones. And they find, again, that word being used in the past by, so Jesus is part of a movement, a nonviolent movement, and there was someone earlier in that movement that had used the same phrase of not thieves, but violent ones. So they're saying that he most likely was saying, you've turned my father's house into a den of violent ones, because they were selling animals for sacrifice. And so they're saying there was possibly some animal liberation front going on with him flipping tables and casting them out of there.
Right. Exactly.
But there's more to the story than just that. But yeah, it's a really great documentary.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I brought it up. Because you know, like, you know, I remember
Such a great point about Noah. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, like Noah, you know, and that wasn't the first time he wiped out the population. He wiped it out a couple times. You know, and then he sent the people, you know, into the desert to wander for however many million years, and then, or how many thousands of years, hundreds of years, I think.
Oh my
and
God.
then, you know, and then he gave them manna, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah. And then they didn't want the manna that God provided for them because it wasn't good enough. And then God's like, "Okay, well, you're going to be bit by serpents and all this kind of stuff. Like, you need to get it together. Like, have some respect." type of thing, you know?
Lori, was there someone trying to come up?
Yeah, Tony right here. Tony.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he knows how to request stuff, or it's not going through. I don't know.
I just saw the comment. Oh no, maybe you can't see it. See, it does that too sometimes. That's weird that it doesn't show you all the requests.
It doesn't. It only shows a few. So
I'm sorry though, Gabby. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just realized I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine.
Are you still there?
You're fine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, you're
hey,
fine.
Tony.
No, I had.
Okay, good.
I'll have to say.
Okay.
Howdy.
Tony, are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
All right. Should you respect animals?
Yeah, you should respect animals.
Okay. Do you use animals?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What animals do you use? Like, do you wear them?
Consume meat products. Okay. Occasionally, I'll wear animal products, and sometimes I might even unknowingly use an animal tested product.
Okay. Would you go to like a zoo or anything?
Well, I'm a veteran, so a lot of zoo visits are free. Take my little siblings there sometimes. So you do go to
the zoo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
I do
what
want
is
to just
it?
pop in just
Oh yeah,
2
go ahead.
seconds and say thank you so much for your service, sir.
Oh, thank you for your support.
So then, what is it that, to you, morally justifies using animals, but let's say not using humans, right? I imagine you wouldn't want humans in a zoo. You wouldn't buy human skin or fur to wear on your body, and you probably wouldn't eat their flesh, right?
Right.
So what is it that morally separates us from the animals?
Animals are sentient, and humans are part of the same sapient society that I am.
So if you came across just a human that wasn't sapient but just sentient, would you find it moral to exploit them?
No, because a human that is sentient but isn't sapient is only sentient but not sapient due to a disability. One of the perks of being in a sapient society is that we have the capacity to remedy those types of ailments through our research and our resources. Yeah,
Not
potentially.
You can't fix people's brains that are born in certain ways. That's the way they are.
I mean, you
That would
definitely
be-
can
that
improve
would be Gabby's
their
thing.
cognitive function. And we're always going to be having research put forward towards improving that quality of life. But people are born, or either they experience a physical event that makes them disabled in that capacity. They're not.
But why bother not exploiting them? They're here. Why not use them? They don't matter morally, right? Because they're not sapient.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
So then what is it that makes it okay for me to stab an animal, but not okay to stab that human I just described?
Because that human is only that way due to a physical disability.
They're born that way.
Right, due to a disability.
It doesn't
You could be
matter.
born
They're
with
born that
disabilities.
way. It doesn't matter. They're born that way. Why should I bother respecting them?
Because they're still part of the same sapient society, and there's always going to be research put towards
So,
making those people.
The argument that you're making is an arbitrary trait. You're literally saying they're not in my in group. Therefore, it's okay for me to oppress them. What is it about animals? Is it just that they lack sapience? Because animals actually are quite intelligent. They are compared to our toddlers. Pigs are the 5th smartest animal in the world.
Yeah.
And I could acknowledge that.
Okay,
but
so
I
then
feel
what
like it's
morally
also-
justifies using them when we have humans that provide nothing, are just a drain on society? Some of these humans don't even have family that care about them. We still don't exploit them. Why? Is it just
they're-
because they look like a human, or is it because they're having a subjective experience?
They don't just look like humans. They're still able to develop a level of emotional and
this human
intellectual
can't.
connection.
This human can't. So when
you're
I was a
using-
child, hold on,
Yeah.
Tony. I want you to understand these people exist. Okay, not all humans are sapient. I know you really want to think they are, but they're not.
I said that multiple times.
So, just because they have human DNA, that's not why I respect someone. I respect them because they are having a subjective experience and they care about what happens to them, just like I care about what happens to me. That's why I care about those humans. I don't care what species they are. If they have the capacity to suffer and they have the preference to continue living, you have no right over their autonomy.
That's your subjective morality.
So what makes it okay in your mind to use someone without their consent for your benefit?
Well, animals aren't someone; they're something.
What makes a someone? What makes a
person?
someone? Isn't it
What makes
an
a person a person?
individual? It's a subjective experience, right? They're experiencing life. Wouldn't you say your companion animals have personality? They each have their own preferences. They're unique.
I mean, yeah, every animal is going to be unique
Okay,
to some capacity.
so they have
regard.
personalities. How are they not a person? There's an individual experiencing the life in there. Just because they don't carry the same priorities as you, just because they don't look like you, doesn't mean you should demean their sentience. They still care about what happens to them.
So I feel like it's extremely disingenuous to compare someone who has a severe disability to
Tony,
a
look,
type
I
of
know you want to
bonobo
have
monkey
fake
rat.
outrage. You want to have fake outrage because you're now in a corner. You know you're wrong. You see the error in your way. You are being hypocritical. You can't tell me what it is that morally makes it different. All you can say is, there's a difference. Human. They're human. But listen to that language, that supremacist language. We had a time where humans did this to other humans. We said, they're different. I can't put my finger on it. They just look different. Therefore, there's something that separates us. Therefore, I can oppress them since I'm in that position. You're literally picking an arbitrary trait to justify oppressing them. Please go ahead.
There was a certain human from Wisconsin called Ed Gein. He did not only eat humans, but he wore the skin. He made furniture out of their skin.
Is that Buffalo Bill you're talking about?
No. Ed Gein, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was actually based on him. But Ed Gein was from Wisconsin, and he would unalive people and use the remains as furniture, as clothing. He even made a mask out of people. So is that okay?
I would like to address the first point you made before you muted me. Well, actually, it's already escaped me because I've been tackled with another point here. You're saying, is it okay for people to use other people as human skin and consume them? Absolutely not. And like I was going to say prior, I think it's very disingenuous to compare human.
I know you're really upset about it.
I'm not.
I know.
Please let me finish.
You are.
Please.
You're very offended that I'm. You're saying that
you're
I'm
not
calling. No. I know what you're saying. You're trying to say that I'm calling humans that are mentally different, right? You're going to say that I'm calling them animals.
I'm already past
but what I'm
that.
saying is,
bring that up.
okay. What I'm talking about though is that we don't take advantage, or we find it immoral to exploit vulnerable humans that may not have sapient capacities, because we know they're still having an experience and they care what happens to them. And for them to experience negative things unnecessarily, they would prefer to avoid that. So why would you want to perpetually cause suffering and rob individuals of their freedom when you can get everything you need from alternative sources? Why must you hack a sentient being open to lick their muscle? Because that's what you're doing. I'm telling you, all you have to do is go to the grocery store and move your hand, pick up plant-based products, and lick those instead, because they're healthier for you. They don't demand a sentient life taken. It's that simple. I actually don't care about the health part. It's all sentience. Yes, I keep muting you. It's right there.
Yeah, so like I was going to say before you interrupted me, I wasn't even going to talk about your point.
Well, then you can have a good day.
Point.
If you're not going to talk about my point, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, I'm here to talk about the animals.
He's not listening either. No.
I also do feel like after a while, I just don't want to deal with the same person. There's a point where they're just going to feel frustrated enough to be confrontational, period. They don't want to listen anymore. And maybe next live that I go live, he can come back up and we can have another conversation. But it's just, I can only handle so much of somebody pushing back that hard.
Yeah. I know you have another. I see another in the queue, but it's up to you. I don't know what you see on your end. But I don't know.
We'll see. Let's take my time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I might actually call it here. I think that guy kind of wiped me out. But
Yeah.
I will go live on. I'm gonna go live on Thursday, 3 p.m. So.
Well, it got you up pretty high. You got 73,000, man.
Yeah, that's fantastic, guys. Thank you.
Good for
Thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. I'll be honest, I really don't pay attention to those things. It's not till afterwards that I'm like looking back to see how many people were here, and I only really care about the message just getting out there so other people can see it. That's why I tolerate some of the frustrating people up here, because they're still going to bring up questions that average people have. And I'm hoping the wallflowers and the people that watch this when I post it on YouTube, can learn from it and be like, wow, I don't identify with that meat eater. I had the same question, but man, I really feel silly. That's what I'm hoping, is like they don't want to associate with them.
I agree with that because, you know, it only takes one thing to change somebody and to make them understand. You know, it doesn't have to be like this big like revelation, but it could be. You know what I mean? Like just the littlest thing could be like, oh my god, like earlier when you talked about the eggs with me, I'm like, I didn't even know that. Oh my god, like you put something into perspective. And that's all it takes sometimes to change somebody. So, you know, whatever you do, whatever you say, like you are doing an amazing job and I love you for it. Like I'm so happy I came across your live because
me too. I'm so glad you came up.
It just takes one thing for people to it's to change their life and to change the lives of the animals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I was the same way. Every time I came across new information, I was like, what? So I really appreciate those honest responses.
Thank you so much for everything. This was a wonderful live, and I'm so, again, so happy I met you guys. And
definitely come back.
I will definitely come back. Yeah,
Thursday.
Yep. It'll be Thursday, 3 p.m. PDT my time. I don't know where you're located, Gabby, but PDT.
I'm in New York.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you're totally the other side. Well, hopefully 3 p.m. isn't too late for you.
Nah.
Okay. Otherwise, I'll be back on Monday this time, 9 a.m. PDT. So
send me whenever you're on. Just send me a message. If I can make it, I will totally make it.
Hell yeah, I'll totally do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you for coming up. And Lori, it's always a gift to work with you. And I'm really glad that I have you here because I think I would lose my freaking mind.
Lori, it was a pleasure to meet you as well. Like, this is
you too, Gabby.
a great day for me.
Yeah.
You guys.
I'm glad we answered your question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks,
You
Gabby.
guys are great and sending you so much love. And thank you for taking care of the animals.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for also standing up for, I mean, immediately when you learned you were like already up here to advocate for the animals, that's pretty impressive. So well done. Yeah, that deserves its own kudos.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to end it here, guys. I appreciate you both so much. Thank you to all the vegans. Nika, I see you in there. I can't remember who else was in there. Nika, you've been in there. I just saw you. Oh, my thing froze. Okay, well, I guess TikTok's telling me to end it anyway. Thank you all the vegans in the chat. Thank you, ladies, for being up here. If you're not vegan, go vegan. And have a great vegan day, everyone.
You too. Bye. Love you.
See you. See you.